drive. Enjoy the beginning of the Memorial Day weekend. And sitting next to me, the man, the myth, the legend, Big Wheels, Bo Carver.
That's where it should have been a long time ago. You used to do that all the time, but now you just do it occasionally.
Well, we need
Am I losing my legendary touch or my myth touch?
No, you don't know how to write a contract.
Oh, okay.
If you knew how to write your contract, then, things would be different. Thank you, sir.
Well, thanks for reminding me. So now I'll know what I need to do.
You got to put in the clause. You want a proper
I need your agent.
introduction.
Yeah,
No, you're not getting my agent.
I need an agent.
Yeah, you can't have mine.
Why?
Because he works for me.
Oh,
on my best interest.
I know, but see, I can.
But he can't pit you against me on a contract.
But that's what would be fun about it. Oh, yeah, it's a crazy morning, but I think we're going to be all right here. We're getting into the kind of summertime here in North Texas. And boy, it was a nice day at the racetrack coming down 35 this morning.
Yeah, it's
people are driving like crazy. I'm going, it's a Saturday morning. Why is it necessary at, I don't know, 6:45, 6:30, driving 100 miles an hour? And I'm not talking about one. I'm talking about most everybody.
Must be giving up free gas somewhere.
Somewhere. I don't know. It's crazy, but they're doing it. And thanks for people joining us. We are live on Facebook. You can do that now. Did you get us?
Got it.
We're out there on the live streaming on Facebook, on the Automotive Edge Facebook page, our sister Facebook page, Shifting Gears, LinkedIn under Kurt Chase, and also YouTube. Now, when you go to YouTube, it's youtube.com/The Automotive Edge Radio Show. So be sure and add radio show in there to get the right location. And we're off and running as well as here on Talk Radio 1190 AM every Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon.
Well, there is, I don't know what they're giving away, but coming down 114 to 121, unbelievable. I'm doing 70 miles an hour and people are blowing by me.
That's what I saw every Saturday morning. It's pretty crazy. And this morning was really crazy. And good morning, Ronnie Swain. Tuning in already. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess they're trying to get that place at the beach, or they want to mark their steak out at the lake, or I don't know. Maybe they're giving away buy one pancake, get one free at IHOP or something.
I personally think that you don't see very many patrol officers on the streets anymore. They're not out there much. Not on what I see on 35s. Maybe some of the places you're at, but
well, on 35, I see them up there by you. I don't see them a lot on 75, and I darn sure don't see them a lot on 114 till you get into because I'm going through South Lake headed towards Fort Worth. You'll see the Popo out there. Always usually at the first and the end of the month. They got to make that quota of writing tickets.
Quota.
Yeah. Well, they do. I mean, just think about when they're out there.
Well, I guess that's what they're.
You'll see them more at the first of the month. They write, 400 or 500 tickets, generate, thousands of dollars, which is nothing wrong with it. I mean, slow down, then you ain't got to worry about it.
Right. That's the whole point. But, they do. They rock and roll. And they, I don't think it's crazy. And what's even worse than that is these motorcyclists. Now, I know there's a lot of good motorcycle guys out there. I'm not jumping on.
Don't be hating.
Not hating. It's kind of touching on that, but these crotch rocket guys.
Oh, they don't care.
They are. I don't get that. I mean, I don't get what these guys do and why they do it and how fast they go and what kind of trouble they end up causing people, but they're out there. So I think there is two different type of motorcyclists out there, and I respect the ones that try to do it rightfully and disrespect the ones that are out there being like
in
jackasses.
London, I'm seeing these motorcycles flying in and out, and he goes, they have the right of way here. I've never seen anything like it. It's like, really? He goes, oh yeah, you got to make way for the motorcycles.
Well, they've taken the right of way here. I mean, they may not have it, but they take it over. And I see them go in. I'm talking about on the highway doing 80, 90 miles an hour. The cars are, and here comes these crotch rocket guys doing 110, flying through
in between
in
the cars.
between and on the lines,
Yeah.
not even in the lanes, in between them on the lines. I'm going, what are you thinking? Are you really do not care about life that much to where you think that you can get away with that?
It just takes that one wreck, and then you see it on the news. You know, body over here, motorcycle over there, and
Oh yeah,
and then the ones that are popping wheelies going down the highway. Never understood
90
that.
miles an hour,
I don't get
popping
it.
wheelies. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to me.
Mom and dad didn't smack their kid enough growing up. They didn't put them in line. They just, figured, well, let them be them. Let them find themselves. Let them go 110 down the highway on a motorcycle.
Well, when we grew up, we did have sort of we were a little wild and woolly, I guess you would say, but there was a respect for life and respect for others to where that you didn't do that kind of stuff to where that you're putting in, endangering other people. But what they're doing, they're causing a lot of issues, and they've caused a lot of issues. And so you can call in and berate me if you'd like, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Here we go. Well, we got a whole lot of going on here today on the Automotive Ed Radio Show today, live Classic Kia Carrollton. Go to ClassicKiaCarrollton.com. Take a look at all their specials, and they got a whole bunch. They've got leasing, bunch of leases under $300. Qualified buyers $7,500 off, and they have this new EV6 on the showroom floor in their new blue. And I got to tell you what, that's a good looking rig. I just went over and took a look at it. I'm going, I could drive that car.
It's a pretty color.
That car
for sure.
make me look good.
And I know you like the wheels.
Yeah,
the combination of the chrome and the black.
Yep, and it's their new blue for the year, and it's a good looking rig. One thing about Kia is they got good looking products. There's a lot of products out there that just kind of stale. That haven't really done anything. And Kia Motors, along with their sister Hyundai, they have really come out of the gate with some good looking rigs. I mean, they have some style to it, except they just have one, that Hyundai Santa Fe. Whoever put the front end on that, he needs to be fired, because that is one of their bread and butter products, and they put like electric front end on a gas powered vehicle. But other than that, all their products are really good looking. The Kia Sportage, I wouldn't have given 2 cents on the old Kia Sportage to even look at that new one. When it comes by, no one even knows what it is. They have really refined and done really, really well with that vehicle. So
how come that some manufacturers seem to have a good cosmetic group or individual, whoever makes that final decision, and then others they've lost it?
Yeah, I don't get it. One of the vehicle lines that has really come a long way that is good looking, and that's Buick. Mm-hmm. You can say what you want to say. It's my granddaddy's car, my mom, and I got to tell you what, they have really knocked that thing out of the park with
you've always
lines
said,
and design.
If you're not checking out a Buick, you're missing out. Not to say that you would end up getting one, but if you're in the market for something along those lines, you need to check it out, because they are certainly in the ballpark for cosmetics and design and durability. I mean, those cars are great.
Well, a buddy of mine, he said, they were listening to the show, and he took his daughter over, and they took a look at it, and they had one pulled up, opened up. She got in, she drove it and looked it all over and everything. She goes, but Dad, it's a Buick. He goes, what would you have done? I said, I'd have taken over the bicycle shop and told her to pick out a Schwinn. You realize that in a heartbeat, you have a chance to drive a brand new vehicle to college. And when you get inside of them, I mean, it's a luxury vehicle. It's got all the amenities. No, I'm going, you know what? Okay, sir, I appreciate your time. I'd have found the nearest bicycle shop and said, now go in there and pick you one out.
1 minute till break.
You're going to be in great shape after the first semester and rethink this.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm going, I don't get it. But, there's, you sit inside those, and every one of their products is good looking. Every one. So kudos to them and the platform team. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, there is a lot of great information we're going to share with you today. Joining us this morning will be the owner here Classic Kid Carrollton. Jesse Hull will be joining us.
Is that a fact?
Well, he told me he's going to be here. So we'll wait and see if the helicopter lands.
You know, the Stars aren't playing this morning or anything, right?
Did they win last night?
I don't know. I don't fool with that.
Yeah. 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. If you want to know where to go, who to see, what to do when it comes to acquiring your next new vehicle, whether you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, parts, service, or body shop, give us a call. 214-787-1190. Let's take a quick break, identify some of the great sponsors of the Automotive Edge Radio Show here on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Wesley Stewart. He says, good morning, Bo and Kurt. And then Ronnie says that in California, it's legal for the motorcycles to drive in between the cars on the freeways. I go, what do you expect out there? So I think it's going to be a good pool weekend until maybe Monday. I think they're calling for some rain, possibly.
Yeah, it's going to be in the 70s tomorrow.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like in the 90s all weekend.
I thought tomorrow, hang on just a second here, that it was going to, one of the days it was going to really cool down.
Yeah, it's the first of the week, I thought.
So we've got, let's see.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's Monday. Tomorrow's 93.
Yeah, 79 on Monday,
and
80
rain
on Tuesday, rain on Wednesday.
Like all week.
Yeah, 20%. There's your weather forecast.
Well, they're calling for 70% in my neck of the woods on Monday. Thunderstorms, 77 is a high. Thunderstorms on Thursday, 82.
Boy, the Oilers blanked them 3-0 last night. Whoa. That's a whooping right there.
Yeah, I don't care about hockey. I didn't grow up with it, and I don't know. I guess when you don't grow up with it and understand the game, and I don't know, just never got into it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, well, for whatever reason, when it comes to playoff time in sports, it kind of changes. I just don't understand the game.
Yeah, I don't either.
Now, I went there live with my buddy Ralph, and it was really, really cool.
See, Purple Haze and I went one time, and we were bored. We left. I thought it was kind of funny that when we first got there, that we got there a little late, so they were already underway.
You know what was the most interesting part of the game for me?
The fights?
No. Watching the referees
skate up
dodge the pucks and those. When you go down on the ice to watch them warm up, those guys are ginormous.
And then they got all the gear on top of it.
And watching the referees skate and stay away from the puck and them guys flying, that was.
And still try to referee.
And I'm sitting there telling the guy, I said, have you ever just watched referees? He goes, well, heck no, I don't care about the referee. I said, just watch. He's watched them go. And the guy sitting next to me, just total stranger, he goes, holy cow, that's unbelievable.
You finally started paying attention.
You got those three guys out there. I mean, they are cooking up and down that skating ring and dodging
everything.
Unbelievable.
Well, we went and they were in play, and so we were going to go to our seats, and the guy stopped us. Can't go while they're in action. I'm going, what?
Can't what?
We're back on air.
They wouldn't let us go to our seats while they were in play. Once they timed out or stopped play, they allowed us to go to our seats. Now, that's the only
sport. I never heard of that.
I know it's what happened to us. We couldn't figure out. That's the only sport I ever been to that they wouldn't let you go down while it was in action. It's crazy. Ask Purple Haze. She thought that was weird, too.
It's real weird. Well, that only happens to you, though.
Yeah,
nobody else in that whole arena was stopped except for you.
They probably
30
didn't.
seconds till we're back.
Okay, thank you. They probably didn't want us there, and that was just kind of a way to warn us.
Wow.
Sir, could you mind leaving? They're in action. They're in play.
Yeah, we went with Ralph, and we had to go all the way around the arena because there's only one stand that sold a certain kind of beer with a certain label.
Oh, boy.
And she saw Ralph. Hello, Ralph. I said, well, isn't that special?
Yeah, you got a little You may just trip a few times, have you?
Oh yeah.
That's a good bass line right there, buddy. Ah, yeah, that's some good music right there. Remember what I was saying a while ago? that's some real music.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you ain't moving and grooving, you're probably horizontal and going under.
Yeah, I don't know how
That's
anybody
right.
could not groove to that right there.
214-787-1190. It's the Automotive Ed Radio Show today, live classic Kia Carrollton. If you look at their website, you have a bunch of 2026 Kia Sportage, $289 a month. You got $1,000 active duty military bonus on vehicles today. They have the red, white, and vroom savings on everything. I tell you right, $379 a month. I tell you right. And let me just tell you, you're looking to trade in a vehicle. This is the time because we have this whole month of graduation and then going into June. And moms and dad are buying those cash cars, everything they get their hands on. If you got that $18,000 to $25,000 range kind of vehicle, it's worth a lot of money. We had a couple of people that called me and were blown away when they found out what their cars are worth. In fact, one of them, we appraised their car back in March, and they got $3,000 more this week on that car. And this is a nice rig. I mean, a stand-up rig. It was 3 years old, had 30-something thousand miles on. That dealer snatched that thing up. It was sold the next day after it got it at a recon. So it's a good time to trade. And right now, the dealer's inventory are loaded up. Everybody loaded up, being concerned about all the tariffs that we're going to hit, and the Chicken Little syndrome took over with the world's coming to an end if you're a Democrat. And bad things were going to happen. And this was going to happen with tariffs. Well, you know what? Baloney. Absolute baloney. It's good to have a coach on the sideline now that's creating a level playing field for the United States of America. And everybody is starting to play along. They have to. They have to play along.
Good to have somebody on the sidelines that just even knows what's going on, period.
Yeah. He doesn't need anybody up in the box calling the plays. He's doing it all because think about this for a minute. With all the manufacturers overseas building these cars, and all of a sudden they have nowhere to send them. You got to think for a minute. Wait a minute. What do we do here? They're not going to 100% shut down assembly.
Well, they may gamble a little bit on time. They may, like playing cards, you're going to try to gamble out, or what do you call it when you fake, like you think you got a really good hand, you know what I'm saying? And what do they call that? And you're bluffing.
Yeah.
They do the bluff thing, and they'll probably bluff a little while, some people, but eventually they're going to
Yeah, but when you're talking about millions and millions of dollars in products sitting there going,
maybe billions.
Well, let's see if Trump might give in. Well, we know for a fact that he's not going to.
No, and they're going to see that soon enough too.
And you don't want to be sitting on millions of dollars of inventory. And then think about this. Already the 26s are coming out. So if they have 25 inventory that they need to get into the United States.
Out there in the ocean.
Let me just tell you, and a lot of the countries are going, okay, hey, we get it. Yeah, we've been taking advantage of America. There's so many people in Washington, I guarantee, getting their pockets greased, and that's why they're upset. They're going, hang on a second here. All those deals that we cut and backdoored all these deals and all these shell companies and shell businesses, the shell game that they use on that cardboard box in New York, they've got that down. And now you got a president coming in here and doing a clean sweep. And in the auto industry, these folks are going to have to go, hang on a second here. I got a choice. I can start playing fairly and get rid of this product, or we're going to sit on it. And then what are they going to have to sell it for? So I was never really concerned with what everybody was saying was going to happen, with the product and who was going to do what. I was never concerned. People were like, Kurt, my gosh, how much are these cars going to go up? And I went, none. Think about it. Right now, with the interest rates finally coming down and the average transaction at $46,000, they're not going to jump this thing up over $50,000 and think things are going to go the way they are. They're going to come out with rebates, incentives, low AP. They're going to do whatever they can to offset the tariffs to get rid of this product. They don't want trophies. I'm telling you, they don't want trophies. And that's what these cars will be. If they don't play along, they will pile up at the railhead, their railhead, because they're not coming to our railhead, and start learning to play fair. So I was never concerned with it. People are like, well, I just can't believe that you're not even worried about it. I'm not. You think about all the products, what do they say? Almost $2 trillion in product coming in annually from one country. And you say, hold off on that. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it for a minute. What are they going to do?
There's no punting in trade. you can't go like audible out and then punt, and you're going to punt out there in the ocean.
You're going to hold on to that product and say, let's see who can hold out the longest. Doesn't work that way. You can't just sit on that stuff hoping that something's going to happen. So anyway, with that being said, trade-in values have gone up. Used car market is very, very strong. Other than pickup trucks, the rebates have remained steady. So everything's fine. I'm telling you, this is a great time to trade and buy another vehicle. A great time. And if anything, it's trade-in values. Hey, you got people over here banging on the door trying to get in.
The man. Long
what are
time
you doing?
No see, brother.
Who is that masked man? So anyway, come on out. Go to your local dealer. Buy a new vehicle. But if you want to know how to do it, the best way to do it and not worry about anything, it's real simple. Go to theautomotiveedge.com. Your message icon will pop up. Put your name and number on it and send it to me. Let me give you a call after the radio show, or if you have a question right now about where to go, who to see, what to do, it's real simple. Go ahead and give us a call, 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190, and let us get you directed. It's simple to do. You don't have to go out and do it on your own. Even when you think that deal is a good deal, let's just confirm that it is a good deal.
And there's no cost to you, the consumer, to have this service. What? That's what I said. There's no cost to you. So if you don't take advantage of it, then don't call Kurt on Monday. You can call me because I'm a guy that's going to tell you, I told you so. Kurt won't, but I will.
Well, I had a gentleman the other day. He called me up and he says, hey, I'm buying this product. And he goes, I think I actually took advantage of them. I think I killed it. And I went, fantastic. So we're going through the paperwork and I said, have you picked the vehicle up? And he goes, no. He said, my wife really thinks you know what you're doing. Well, I'm sitting there looking at everything, and it came down the bottom line where he hit a number that went,
kind of raised the.
I like it.
Okay. Right.
And so I picked him up another $3,500 on his trade.
and
you know what? He didn't call back to say thank you. Nothing. He was, kind of just to get my wife off my butt.
Yeah.
And, she thinks that blah, blah, blah. So I called the dealer and I said, hey, what are you doing on that vehicle? And he told me, and I said, well, I got a buyer. And he goes, for what? And I went, for this. And he goes, well, I'm going to call the guy and tell him. He goes, we got it. So what do? They call the guy up and, hey, great news.
Great news. Did they happen to tell him?
So I called him and I said, hey, how things going? He said, you're not going to believe this. I said, believe what? And he told me, I went, isn't that something special?
Yeah.
He said, did you talk to the dealer? I said, I did, buddy. You're $3,500 light on your trade-in. He goes, I got to make a phone call. And that was his way of going.
Got to get out.
Got to go.
How much you charge?
Which is fine.
How much you charge him?
I asked for a handshake, hug, or a prayer. I got nothing.
You didn't even get a thank you.
I didn't get nothing. I didn't even get an attaboy.
And you still would help him no matter what.
I would.
Yeah, that's the way it rolls.
Would.
But hopefully that the people that
and you know what? I guarantee you, what's happening. What's even funnier is that he probably
is listening.
No, was talking to his wife and said, "What happened?" He didn't do nothing.
Oh, I got you.
He didn't save us anything. We didn't get anything different. It's all the numbers still the same.
Well,
yeah, he's not going to give up that information.
That's on him, then. That's not on you.
That's right. 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. Live today, Classic Kia Carrollton. Let's take a quick break. We get back. We got some interesting news for you, the consumer. So far, all we got to do is get Congress to sign off on it. Y'all gonna be some happy campers coming up here on the Automotive Ed Radio Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good weekend. Other than Monday, might be a little rough around North Texas, but we got today and tomorrow. Hang by the pool and cook your hot dogs or whatever else you're going to have. Monday's probably going to be a little wet and cool around here.
I'm smoking meat.
What are you smoking?
I'm going to be smoking some fish for fish tacos. I'm going to be smoking some pork ribs with my new rub.
Cool.
And I'm going to be doing some chicken ratons.
Rub-a-dub-dub, or how do they call that? Rub-a-dub?
Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in the tub. The farmer, the butcher, the candlestick maker.
I remember when I was in the first grade, we had a little play, and I had the part of baker, man, roll them up, put them in a pan. I still remember that to this day. I was sweating bullets going out there on that stage, and they'd be dressed up with like a
baker
chef hat, all that white
baker's hat.
I was trembling out there all prepared. Baker, man, roll them up.
Even if you'd have messed up, your mom would have thought you did.
Oh,
great.
yeah, of course. It was like, that's
you
why.
forgot every one of your lines. Oh, Bo, you look so good out there.
Yeah. That reminds me of, that's why I like watching Leave It to Beaver. It takes me to some of the stuff he did. And of course, Wally and him are close. And that's the same way with my brother. We're about the same age difference, and we grew up together. So we did a lot of crazy stuff like they did. We used to take our mattress outside.
Did Ken do a lot of reading growing up? Very analytical and detailed, which he has to be in his business, but very analytical.
I don't remember him doing that in school, but I didn't do much of it either. So
I did.
I can't point my finger. I hated reading. I still do.
I
can read.
I had 3 teachers that always asked me to read out loud.
It's like when I read the Bible, I'm going, all right, now today I'm going to read the Bible, and my mind will not venture off. And about 3 verses into it, I'm thinking, I need to mow the lawn, or, I got an edge today, or I got to go to the store. My mind wanders when I read.
Miss Evans loved to hear me read.
Well, you got the voice for reading.
I would use the comma. I would use the hyphens. I would use the
pauses.
And
or if it's excitement, you'd be excited.
And she goes, and so nobody else wanted to read. No one else's hand would go up. And so she goes, Kurt. And I would read out loud. Mrs. Taylor, she loved to hear me read.
Did you? Oh, Miss Crump.
No, I didn't want to read. I mean, I never put my hand up. I just got called on.
You weren't like Judy Hensler.
But I was very prolific in pronunciation. Cool. I knew how to pronounce words and pause and what a period meant.
Yeah.
And I just picked it up. I don't know what it was. And as I got older, there was different functions I would go to where they would ask me to read whatever.
I'm surprised you hadn't checked out trying to do the Bible reading stuff for people where you record stuff like that.
The audiobooks.
Yeah.
I did. I filled out all the paperwork and I turned my deal in to do audiobooks, and I got 3 phone calls and
nothing happened from there.
Nothing after that.
Maybe you just didn't know the right person. Maybe you need to get in touch with Michael Edwin Keir. He probably has a connection for that.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you could have been, you just keep just short of your goals, like being the big techs. Just missing.
Why do you got to bring that up?
I'm just saying you're talented.
Like falling down at the finish line.
You're talented enough to do it, but somehow, some reason, you just doesn't.
Like falling down in front of the finish line, Bo.
Yeah. Well, I'm not blaming you for it because other people have to pick it.
214-787-1190. It's the Automotive Ed Radio Show today, live. 214-787-1190. This segment of the show goes to
Blah, blah, blah,
blah,
blah, blah.
blah, blah. Easy for you to say. Classic Buick GMC Arlington. I was just over there the other day with Jermaine Pearson, and I'm going to tell you what, that guy is a ball of good, spiritual, positive energy.
Good deal.
I mean, he is. I got to tell you what, that is a God-fearing man that gives you such a great flavor that you probably never had before going into a Buick GMC store. I'm telling you, he is.
Or maybe
he's a man.
Maybe any dealership.
Well, there's a lot of good guys out there.
Oh, sure there is. I'm not saying that.
There's a bunch out there. But I was over there the other day, and this guy walked up to me, and he wanted to buy my truck.
I'm surprised you didn't sell it.
Well, you can find the X model. You can find the Rebel, but not the Rebel X. And the guy asked me if I wanted to sell it, so we were trying to work out a deal on a GMC over there. And I got to tell you, it's a hidden luxury gem. And people say, "Why?" I said, "Because I got to tell you what, the GMC Sierra is a luxury pickup truck. The Buick line are luxury trucks. The Yukon Denali, Yukon XL. I mean, this is luxury." And they got great prices, great discounts. And I'm going to tell you, once you meet Jermaine Pearson and let him hand you off to one of the staff members, he's the final guy. He's going to come out and give you all the final numbers and how things go. You'll appreciate it just like we do. That's classicarlington.com. That's classicarlington.com. Ask for our buddy Jermaine Pearson and let him help you with your GMC Buick needs. Drive the Buick Enclave. Just telling you, drive the Buick Enclave. classicarlington.com. So, I don't know, but if anybody's paying attention to this, because, you know, you log on to the TV or the radio, whatever, and you hear so much BS and, you know, people don't want to talk about, or, you know, it's amazing. You got the Democrats and the Republicans, and the sky is green and the grass is blue. I mean, you can't get anybody on the right page for anybody in agreement. Nobody's in agreement. Like, we're sitting here looking at that vehicle to the right. What color is that, Bo?
I would call that a very light silver.
Yeah, but if you were a Democrat, what would you call it?
I'd call it green.
Green? Okay, I got you.
Well, everything has to be green.
Well, you know what? Everything that's coming out that the Republicans are doing, the great President Trump, whether you like what comes out of his mouth or not, really is immaterial. For me, I'm a results guy. You know, there's a restaurant where the owner of the restaurant, he's just a real patoo. I don't even know why you wonder why he's in the restaurant business. He walks around with this look on his face as somebody just slapped him. But the food there is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And so I can deal with that because I know the bottom results are I'm getting a nice meal out of this whole deal. I mean, it's going to be really, really good food. So forget all the stuff. You know, now they're talking about the color of his skin and his hair. I'm like, really? That's the maturity of the people running our government. It's really, really, really sad. But here's one of the great things. The sweeping taxation and funding bill passed by the U.S. House, get this, would allow a tax deduction not for the wealthy, not for the billionaires, for me and you.
Right.
Us good old blue-collared folks, good old middle-income folks, up to $10,000 in auto loan interest a year for the next few years. How about that?
So what does that actually mean? That you can write off up to $10,000 off your vehicle?
So here it is.
Is that based on
AutoFine? The bill will permit consumers during the 25 to 28 tax years a deduct up to $10,000 in interest per year on consumer vehicle loans. Here's the deal. Lease payments, title loans, fleet and commercial vehicles, and salvage title models or vehicles bought at a scrapyard are not eligible. Okay? So the average borrower would pay $27.48 in interest during the first year. Okay?
Yeah.
And that would be their deduction. The amount would slowly decrease over the subsequent years as the balance is paid down, but the borrower would in total pay, and this is on a loan on a $40,000 vehicle, 69 to 71 months, 7.1% interest. would pay in total $82.02 in interest over the 4 years that you'd be owning the vehicle. Deducting that would be $27.48 in interest the first year. Would roughly work out to $274.85 in savings and taxes using the lowest tax rate of 10%, and $606 savings with 22% tax rate, and then going up based on your income. So the people with lower income get the bigger tax savings on getting to write off the interest on your car. I mean, think about that. When you look at these cars and how many millionaires are driving whatever cars, not to pick on any make or model, I'm going, that is all about the middle class. And we always say he's just there to, the big beautiful bill is just so his billionaire friends. Just no, it's not.
So no tax on tips is helping the billionaire, right?
Yeah, no tax on tips. Those
and on overtime. So all billionaires are getting tips and working overtime.
Yeah.
So how's that helping them? They ain't doing none of that.
That's right. So I'm sitting here looking at this, and when I saw it, guess what? 212 Democrats voting no.
Yep, they're going to always vote no against anything that is
wow.
not pro-America.
I don't get it.
And yet they keep still getting votes. That just really gets me. I don't get it.
I'm going.
The Democrats of the 60s are not the Democrats of today. I can tell you that right now.
Well, you know what the deal is. When you have been wasting the American taxpayer dollar, which we have they're uncovering it more and more. When I just saw that.
A lot of Republicans are doing that too, though.
Yep. When you see that they were renting Caesar's Palace, they were renting professional stadiums for parties, and this was COVID money supposed to go to the schools, and you're going, hang on a second here. You're not going to have the waste and fraud that you lined your pockets with or helped your buddies with. All of this is going to go to the American people. It's going to go back in our pockets, or it's going to go to better causes or better programs for better results. And I'm sitting there going, is that something that angers you? How does that anger you? But the thing about it is, if I've been sitting on my duff, not doing anything, and I've got all these people working for me, trying to make me look good, with even that doesn't help a lot of them. You know, when you look at their all of their assistants that they have, the payroll for their assistants, because some of them, you know, from making martinis to being a congressperson, kind of makes you kind of wonder. And all of a sudden they go, hang on a second, I don't get to go do this, and I don't get to do that, and I don't get to buy this. That President Trump, I'm voting no. But right. You were sworn in. You took an oath to protect and serve the American people, and you're not.
That's long gone. That's been gone a long time ago. And it just becomes a club. Once you get in it, you get kind of taken into it. And I don't know. It gets lost. I hate the two-party system. I think it's horrible. I don't know how that ended up that way for so long.
I think that's the bigger problem. If we didn't have Republicans and Democrats.
We have two big problems. We have that, and we have term limitations that would needs to be had. If those two things changed, this country would change for the better. Because then you wouldn't have these people going in there that, you know, where they make a couple $100,000 a year, $250 or whatever, but yet come out $20 million worth $20 million or more, or millions. How does that happen?
Well, here's what's funny is said Massey, one of your Congress people, in May 22nd House floor speech opposing the bill. Get this. This is what really gets me. So you're getting to write off the interest on your taxes like you do on your home.
Right.
It said he wished that he could tell Americans a combination, get this, of lower taxes and increased spending would be fine, but he couldn't. He said this bill is a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, for them.
A ticking time bomb. I'm going, unbelievable. You know what? We need tax relief. We need help. As I do so much research because I'm big with the teachers. We adopt tons and tons of teachers every year and help them with their school supplies. And I'm looking about, well, the lottery was supposed to help all these schools and teachers, and now we're laying them off left and right, and the schools don't have the right amount of funding. I'm going, hang on a second here. What are we doing? And so when you see Doge, whether you like it or not, they're finding all this money. Let's give it back to the American people.
Well, a lot of the reasons
let them be able to buy the cars they want and afford the cars they want, be able to afford the insurance, which has gotten outrageous.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't. We keep turning our backs because you're lining your own pockets, and remember the oath that you took. And I am in. Every chance that we get for a tax break means that the people in Washington have to tighten their belts and quit wasting our money and things like this. And you know what? It's for American-made cars. That's the caveat. It's for American-made cars that we get these tax deductions. 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. Quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you remember? Well, I can tell you one thing. One of the reasons why these schools are closed is people are taking their kids out of these public schools. The home schools have risen astronomically because of all the problems that are in these public schools. What they're teaching them, what they're not protecting the teachers, they're not protecting the kids. Bullying is out of control. They're letting hoodlums stay in these schools without kicking them out, letting them stay back in. And that's the reason these schools are closing.
Well,
not because of funding.
There's a lot of protection going out of here. The problem is too many moms and dads drop their kids off at school and want them to raise and educate their kids. And that's not what the schools are for. The schools are for education. But these moms and dads are just letting their kids, free willy and do whatever they want, and then bringing them to school with bad attitudes and bad habits.
Well, that's part of the reason
and
why.
Want the teacher to fix it. And if they don't, they're up there kicking and screaming and yelling, "My poor child."
Yeah, but that's why people are taking their kids out, because they see that happening in these schools. And if they have their mind open and their eyes open, they're saying, I'm not sending my kid to this situation.
Yep.
And it's gotten bad.
Yeah, I was with a school teacher last night having dinner, and you just listen to the stories, and you and I have some teachers in common, and going, how did it get this way? I tell you what, bring them in that office and let him take that paddle out, give him 3 quick swats. It'll straighten them out.
Yeah, that's long gone. Brett changed me when I got a couple licks for chewing gum. I never wanted to see gum again in my life.
I remember one of the toughest guys in school. His name was Randy Kemp. This guy was meaner than a junkyard dog. I mean, he was, and he was scary looking. And we were goofing around. The wrestling got out of hand. Next thing you know, we're down in the principal's office. I wasn't wrestling around with Randy. He was just too mean. But anyway, Mr. Wynn and Mr. Singley said, I've had enough of this. Come on in. He said, Randy, you first. And, man, I heard him hit Randy. He come out, and I've never seen a look on a human being's face like that. He goes, Mr. Chase, I walked in and said, suspend me.
Yeah, you didn't want it, did you?
He goes, they're laughing. I said, no, I just saw Randy's face. No way. And they start laughing. I remember Miss Winnie goes, step back out, and he goes, well, we're going to give you detention. And they're still laughing. And I'm like, let me tell you what I just saw. Let me know not to come back in here.
Well,
and I'm leaving. Both of them are still in there laughing. And there's Randy sitting over there in the counselor's office, and he still has that look on his face. There's no way they're going to hit me with that paddle. There's just no way.
I bet there was no trouble after that, was it?
No, Randy never went back down there. And I'm telling you what, he was a big old boy. Mean. That boy could put the biggest dip of snuff in his mouth.
Go around the school.
And he just had this look like he just wanted to bite your head off. And boy, old Mr. Singley laid into him. And I could hear it. And I went, you have got to be kidding me.
Well, it's like I saw they did a whole deal about how much fraud is in Medicare, Medicaid, I guess I should say.
Both Medicare and Medicaid.
And
Meta.
One of the Democrats goes
30
like,
seconds to
all
work
these
on.
millions and millions of people are going to lose their health care. No, they're going to lose being fraudulent with it.
Well, look how many are not supposed to be on it.
That's what I'm talking about. But they look at it in this broad spectrum of like, oh, they're going to be losing their Medicare and Medicaid. Well, they probably shouldn't. A lot of them probably even shouldn't be even on it.
I like they were asking, idiots like Whoopi and the other idiot
Mhm.
on the show, and they said, "Show me where the cuts are," and all they could say is, "Are you blind?" They couldn't fact anything. It was just, "Are you blind?"
Please don't talk about love tonight.
Yeah.
Please don't talk about saying love. Please don't talk about being true. And all
214-787-1190. It's the Automotive Edge Radio Show here this morning, helping you. If you want to know where to go, who to see, what to do, I've been in this business now 37 years, most of it running dealerships and selling cars. We've got you connected. It doesn't matter the make or model. We got you hooked up and taken care of. Real simple. This segment of the show goes to great folks over at Freeman Toyota. Get more, pay nothing. Just go to the website and look what Dane Miner is offering at Freeman Toyota. Take a look at his lease programs. Moms and dads, you want a really low payment because you're paying for college? Lease a car from Freeman Toyota. Payments under $250 a month. The place, Freeman Toyota, and get this, you get 2 years Toyota care. So even if they're away to college, their local Toyota store will give you still your 2 years of free Toyota care. When they're in town, look at the additional benefits you get from buying your vehicle at Freeman Toyota. And I've known Dane Miner for 40 years, BJ Stankovic for over 20 years, Jerry Patterson for years and years and years. It's the place for your next new Toyota. They're on the affordable side of the Metroplex at 820 and 183, just a couple blocks south of the Northeast Mall, and let them help you with your Toyota needs. The place, freemantoyota.com. So, what'd you say?
I didn't say nothing.
What'd you say, Bo?
I could say some stuff, but I'd probably get in trouble.
I wonder how many people we have back in the studio. I'm hearing a bunch of different voices back there.
We got voices.
Yeah, we got voices.
You sure they're just not in your head?
So I know we have Ariana's back in the studio. Ariana, are you there?
Yeah, Ariana's there.
Is she?
Ariana, are you with us?
No, she's not there.
I am here this morning.
No, you're not. Who's in there with you? We heard some guy's voice in there. Is that?
My voice just gets lower sometimes.
Oh, is that it? I thought that was like the president of iHeartRadio decided to show up today or something.
No, I'm just kidding. Me and Amanda are here, and we are training our new friend Larry on the board today.
Amanda and Ariana are training Larry.
Well, sounds like a good group.
There we go.
2 more and you'd have a basketball team
That's right.
running the show.
There we go.
Thank you.
We need to go in the studio and do a show.
That'd be fun.
See what these people look like.
We haven't done it in a long, long time.
See if they come properly dressed, they're focused, their hair's done,
Well, we don't even do
pot
that.
of coffee going.
We don't even do that.
What do you mean?
Come properly dressed and have our hair.
I do.
Really?
I do.
You come properly dressed?
I do.
Okay.
What's wrong with the way I'm dressed?
I didn't say it was wrong. I
No,
just don't
wait a
think
second
it's
here.
pro-
I have a very nice Automotive Edge, totally redesigned by my son.
No,
shirt.
that is a great logo, isn't it?
And talk about dressed.
What about
Looks like you're fixing to be rapping somewhere.
it? Yeah. I decided to join Shadur. I'm the man, the myth, the legend.
I hear you. Phone lines open 214-787-1190. Remember, moms and dads, there's a lot of great products out there that are now even more added to the price under $25,000. You know, I remember when I got in the car business, we were selling, I was going back through some of my old stuff. I had a box. I finally threw a lot of it out. But I was selling Ford Rangers for $79.95. Manual transmission, no air. Air was $14.95. And if you were a first-time buyer and you had no derogatory credit and you could do 6 months prepaid insurance, you drove home a new truck.
Great days.
I'm going, that was unbelievable. And now You know, I mean, brand new pickup trucks, 16,000, 18,000. You were spending 20 grand. Boy, you were in high cotton. You were buying you a super cab, you know, with the upgraded wheels and, you know, 351 V8. You were cooking with peanut oil. Now things have changed. And so it's sometimes I just kind of snicker when I go, for the low price of 49,800, you're going, wow, things have gone up.
And we've got 194-month financing. So you can drive a car.
I love this one commercial. This guy comes out with a great commercial, all bogus.
1 minute till
take out that second mortgage and get you a new car.
That's great.
You know, but
It's true, though.
we're going to name off just a couple. You got your Toyota Corolla, your VW Jetta, your Nissan Sentra, your Trailblazer, your Versa, your Subaru, the Kia K4, the Seltos and Soul, the Mazda CX-30, Mazda 3. There are so many great products out there under 25,000. Some are even lower now because the incentives that they have. And then on top of it, look across the board, which we're going to be covering how many zero APR programs are out there. So it's good times. Stop worrying about
30
what's going to
seconds till
happen
break.
with the tariffs and are the tariffs going to take over. I'm telling you, as I was at 16 different dealerships this last week, 16. And it is incredible what these dealers are doing to move inventory in the month of May. We're going to be covering a whole lot of that and more here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. Don't go away. We'll be right back. People I don't know where.
Don Carlnia says, love, peace, and soul.
All over the world. Love it back.
Love train.
Will be.
So did you watch Soul Train very much?
Are you kidding?
That was one of
I'll
my,
never forget it.
one of my
I'll tell this
all-time
story.
favorite shows, man. I love that show. Don Carlnia.
I love that. Dude, get on board. So I got the TV going. Nobody's home. And this old train's going. I decided to get on my own train.
Start yelling little
I'm
lines.
cutting up in the living room. I didn't see mom and dad walk in. My dad looks over and I'm trying to cut up and he goes,
What's
Jane, my mom,
Oh, okay.
do something with that.
Do something with that. The first time he didn't know what to do, right?
He looked over, he sees Don Cornelius. He goes, what is wrong with you? He goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm learning how to dance. He goes, Jane. And my mom put her hand up like, Kurt, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to dance. And she's like, Kurt.
Now you know the reaction they probably had when you saw your son wearing a Philadelphia Eagle jersey.
Big difference. Big difference.
What do you mean, big difference?
Big difference.
What difference does it?
Let me tell you what, if my dad would have a choice to see me dancing or wearing a Philadelphia Eagle jersey,
He would rather seen you wear an Eagle jersey?
he'd rather see me dancing.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me just tell you.
So you're saying it was worse to see your son with the Eagles?
I remember when Minnesota Vikings, Fran Tarkington was playing, and back then their defense was called the Purple People.
I remember. Absolutely.
So I'm at the salesmanship game at Cowboy Stadium, which back then was preseason.
Right.
And me and Butch Kirby went. Butch Kirby played for the Vikings in Little League football. I played for the Dolphins, and so we got to go to the game. His parents dropped us off, and I had 2 tickets. Well, Fred Cox, number 14, that's how well I remember this game, kicked a field goal, and they won. Well, I had bet somebody like a quarter or something.
Minuscule.
My dad found out.
Oh.
And he goes, let me just tell you something. This is a cowboy house. If you don't like it, you can pack your bags and leave. And he was not playing.
Kidding, huh?
My mom goes, what were you thinking? I went, Mom, it was just a friendly bet. My dad had a sign that he used to put out front that says, quiet, Cowboys on TV. So for him, I'm telling you, if my dad was alive and Ty walked in with all that, my dad would just
disown him, huh? Packing.
I'm like, why? why. And Ty does a lot of it to be a rebel.
Yeah, of course.
But the thing about it is he's got every stat. I mean,
he knows what's going on.
he's a computer for stats and players and who's going where and doing what. But yeah.
Yeah.
He was a big Deshaun Jackson fan. That's what started it. And and all he wanted for Christmas was his jersey, and his mother bought it. And I went, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "Do you realize that God is holding Dad back from coming down here and just whipping his grandson?"
Yeah, taking him out.
Oh, so I told Mom, I said, "Do you remember that time y'all walked in? I was dancing the Soul Train," and Mom started laughing. I said,
"She still remembers that?"
Yeah. She goes, "Kurt, you know, my first album was Isley Brothers Go For Your Guns album." And I got that thing cranked up, and they got home a little early. And man, and here I am standing there by the speaker. Man, I'm just rocking away. And he goes, "Jane, he's doing, my dad actually wanted to send me to a psychiatrist." He goes, "That boy needs help."
Oh, that's funny.
And so the first time my dad saw me, I had on Sansabelt platform shoes.
Oh, boy.
A silk shirt.
He really was calling in the psychic.
And we stopped by the house to do something. I walked in. He goes, "Where in God's green earth are you going?" He was like, I said, "I'm going dancing." Jane, take a look at this. There she is.
"Come on. We got a mic for you."
And Mom goes, "Kurt, where are you going?" So I'm going to the discotheque. She's like, "Okay." And I had patent leather platforms.
Oh boy, here we go.
They were burgundy. Burgundy breeches.
See him a mile.
And I had a white silk shirt that had a peacock across it. And I had it unbuttoned, down to the chest bone. I'm going, and here's my brothers. They're in, Levi's and whatever
stuff.
And they saw me. And what was great though is that when I went into the discotheque, it was called Old Theater. The place was huge. I'd go upstairs and all my brother's buddies are all playing foosball. It was the big thing.
Remember that?
And all their girlfriends are just sitting there. And I'll never forget this guy named Kelly. I can't remember his name. Big guy. He looked like Grizzly Adams. He goes, "Hey, little Chase." He said, "Dance with Susan." And Susan was pretty. Susan Lopez. Never forget it. And we're out there dancing to the Village People. And so every Friday night when I went out, I got to dance with all the girls because their boyfriends were all playing foosball.
So that button got a little lower.
I'm telling you, I was hooked up.
1 minute till we're
back. Oh, I bet.
And they were like, "Hey, we'll take care of you. Tell your brother we'll take care of all of his drinks. Keep our girlfriends busy." Sometimes I'd be on the dance floor with 2 girls dancing. And I couldn't dance for nothing. I had all that upper body, but my feet were in concrete.
But you were tall with the platform shoes.
Oh, I'm telling you.
You stood out.
And then they started showing me how to do these little moves and everything. I'm like, "Man, I'm cooking. I'm cooking."
Screw the foosball, huh?
And my brother's like, "Dude, you got to quit dressing like that." So every time I come strolling in the nightclub, they're like, "Here, little Chase."
30 seconds, so we're back from break.
I loved it.
Taking over.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well,
I was.
You're lucky your dad didn't send a couple of guys with white gowns, white coats.
Guys in a white suit.
Yeah, white suits coming in with one of those
dog catcher nets and pull you out.
What do they call those things when they wrap you?
Stretch jackets.
Yeah. Straight jackets.
Straight jackets. Yeah, my dad, he comes over to my apartment. Boy, we got the music cranked up, and there's me and Alan. We got a couple girls. We're all in there shaking it up, getting ready to go to the disco. He opens the door. He goes, They're at it again.
Did your mom go marry Mother Joseph?
But he loved coming out.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he'd come out to the nightclub, and he couldn't charge him a cover. He'd bring my little sister. She's a teenager. They get out on the dance floor and do their little thing.
Oh, they finally got into it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Like the road that you travel along, there's one day here and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. There's a world outside every darkened door where blues won't haunt you anymore. Where the brave are free and love is so.
Well, things are starting to shake around here this morning. Comes the crew getting ready to rock. Here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show.
Life is a highway today. Classic Kia Carrollton right here at 35 and 121. Come on out and make your deals today. because here's the deal. The inventory is deep. They're selling them cheap. Interest rates are low. Trade values high. I mean, when you just look at the ingredients to acquire a new automobile, I don't know how much better it can get. Now, there's a lot of products out there that they're holding steady on average about 3.9, 4.9%. Not much rates out there. If you go to the luxury brands, and let me pull those up real quick, there are pretty high interest rates across the board. Your domestics are doing relatively well. Your imports, your Hyundais, your Kias, Mazda, interest rates are good. And before we go any further, let's talk about another company that's doing really, really good, and that's Burleson Nissan. Our buddy Justin Crane right down there at 35 in Renfro.
Ruh-roh.
He, I couldn't tell you how many lease programs. If you go to burlesonnissan.com, you got 4 or 5 lease programs below $250 a month, under $300, very little money down. Got, a dire need for pre-owned automobiles. That guy there, he needs to have about 100 in stock, and he's got about half of that. And what does that mean? That means that he is in big demand. And when the dealers are in big demand for pre-owned, and you can get the 0 APR, and you can get rebates and incentives, and you're maximizing your trade, think about the savings, because you're paying taxes on the difference. So if you have a trade that's worth 20 grand and you're buying a car for 30, you're only paying tax on 10, which reduces your output in your monthly payment. And he putting all the money in the trade. There is not a dealer that wants to go to auction. Not one that goes, Yahoo, the auction's open. And dealers like Justin Crane down there at 35 in Renfro at Burleson Nissan, he wants to put the money in the trade. And when you look at the lease programs, and here's another thing too, if you're trading in a vehicle, man, you can squash all of that because of the resale value that you're having on your trade. As long as that trade is running good, AC's blowing cold, it's tired up, and you haven't really tore it up, you're sitting on the money. The place, Burleson Nissan, 35 in Renfro Road. Go to burlesonnissan.com. That's burlesonnissan.com. So I'm sitting here looking at interest rates, and you look at Dodge, Stellantis, and they've got a ton of 0 APR all the way across the board. You take a look at Hyundai, a lot of 0 across the board. Mercedes-Benz, they're starting at 1.9, average is 2.9. To get this, 2.9 to 10.3%. That's what they're advertising. You're going, that's pretty big. Volkswagen Group, a lot of 0 APR on the ID4, the ID Buzz, which they can't sell the ID Buzz right now. It's not been released because there's a problem with the door handle still. So their bus, which is absolutely cool. I was kind of blown away, though. I saw the price on $86,000.
What?
For that bus.
Ooh.
I was going, ooh.
I think you could have bought one back in the 60s for about $3 grand.
Yeah, everything pretty cool. But, the one that is not a big player with the 0 APR right now is Honda. And you look, they've got the 0.9 on the Ridgeline for 36 months, and that's it. Now, take that back. You have the 0% on a couple of hybrids, or $500 rebate or $250 rebate, whatever the cents. They're not very aggressive right now. Honda's not a lot on their leasing or on their APRs, and I don't know why. And I wish they would change their platform team, because I don't understand the front end of Honda. And I'm a big Honda fan. You would believe, and I ran Honda dealerships for a long time. I just wish they'd kind of change things up a little bit. BMW Group, when you look at their 2025 models, they got some 0 APRs on their averages about 2.9%. Ford Motor Company, bunches of 0 APRs, massive discounts on their F-Series pickups over there. Grapevine Ford, the home of the love it or leave it promise, is the place. Let's see here. Toyota Motor Company, bunch of 0 APRs. So guys ask me, do you consider these blue collar cars? And I don't ever categorize anything like that, because the average vehicle being sold right now is $46,000. What's the price for a blue collar car? I don't know what that answer is.
$15,000. No, I'd say probably around.
Well, you
12.
got to realize that blue collar people make the world go round here in
Well,
the United
absolutely.
States, and they buy the bulk
Yes.
of food,
Everything.
cars, clothes,
Everything.
homes,
The middle
go
class.
on and on and on all the way through it. Yeah, and so
He's
that's
referring.
what I call it, the middle class, not blue collar, but
Yeah, middle class is more appropriate.
yeah.
Because that's you're right. That's what makes the world go round, and that's who does the spending, the purchases, everything. And everybody goes, well, it's the rich, and that's not true. I mean, there's a lot of rich people that are spending money, but that's not the group that makes things really happen.
Yeah, I'm asked a lot, what's the better way to go? And I say, always do the math. Whether it's 0 APR, 1.9, 2.9, do the math. Is the rebate better than the APR? Well, people go, well, it's 0% APR, so, that's got to be better. I'll always take 0 APR over anything. I'm like, well, time out. You look at what pickup trucks are doing. The average pickup truck average is $12,000 off MSRP.
Right.
That's a lot of money. 12,000 off. So
what would be
0 for 120 months does not
compute
supersede that big of a discount.
But what would be the percentage of financing for it without 0?
Well, it depends on how big the rebate is. So let's say you have a $2,500 rebate, but you have 0% for 72 months. I'm going with 0% for 72 months.
I gotcha.
So you figure $10 a point over the term, I'm going to take that 0 APR.
Yeah, of course.
No doubt about it. So it really just comes down to math. But when these rebates and incentives are all going north of $5,000, when they're really getting up there, I got to tell you what. And then you have your trade in, and you're only paying taxes on the difference. And if you're putting any cash down, and you're paying, let's say, 2.9%, which is $30 a month. 30 over the years, $360 over 5 years, a little over $1,600. Now let's do the math versus a $2,500 rebate. Well, it's pretty easy to go. Let's go with that rate versus the incentive. And so a lot of times I always tell people, well, I'd rather have that free money. I'm like, time out. Let's do the math on it to see what's better, the free money or the incentives. And for me, if I can get a lot less car to finance, like when you look at Eldorado Chevrolet up there in McKinney, 380 and 75, and Jason Long is doing over $13,500 off. And you're still getting a good rate, let's say 4%, 5%. Let's do the math on it. It's not making up $13,500. So let's just put it on paper. That's why I tell a lot of people is they pay a premium for a vehicle and figure, well, 0 APR was the way to go. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. But once again, I'm a very visual guy. I want to see right in front of me the numbers going from 0 or taking the rebate. And there's a bunch of it. There's a lot of manufacturers out there that you get in the best of both worlds based on your credit score. So let's get started early. There's a lot of people that ran out and panicked when they heard tariff. And boy, oh boy, they're calling me going, hey, I think I jumped the gun. And I can't help you. All I can say is, well, we'll get them next time. Great game. We'll get them next time.
Of course.
So take your time. Go to theautomotiveedge.com. Right when you click on it, the message will pop up. Click on it. All you got to do is leave me your name and number. And let's get you dialed in with the right dealer where you get to see all the different things that are available to you. I've had more people in the last 60 days lease than buy. And they're getting it. They're getting the fact that, we're in, they say we're in uncertain times. No, we're in certain times. People are fighting the inevitable.
Well, I could see where people are starting to see for their kids going to college or whatever they're planning for that.
1 minute till break.
I think they're starting to recognize how leasing might really be very, very beneficial to that child and to them as a parent, helping them, than laying out the kind of cash they would have to get a decent used vehicle.
Yeah, a lot of people, they get online, they see all these numbers, but they're not reading the fine print. They don't understand what goes to it, and then they get there and go, "Oh, there's this aha moment," or they wind up going to the dealership and finding out that there was all these addendums on the vehicle, and now they put a big X on everything.
30 seconds
Well,
to
here,
break.
all you have to do is go to theautomotiveedge.com, leave me your name and number, and let's start taking care of it. So when you walk in the door, all you need to do is drive the vehicle and make sure A is A and B is B, and the rest of it's simple. But putting yourself through that and thinking and quantifying everybody into this process is never a good thing to do. 214-787-1190. Quick break. I'm Kurt Chase with the great one, Big Wheel Bo Carver. We'll be right back.
We got Charlie Davis tuned in. Ralph Paul. Did he go to that game last night?
He did.
Well, that was kind of a rough one for him, wasn't it?
That was ugly.
Did he ask for a refund?
Well, we scored all their points when they were in the penalty box. And if you look at the first game with the Oilers, they came out that first period, man, they looked dominating.
Yeah.
I mean, dominating. Now it's they're
It's 1-1 now, isn't it?
they put a whooping on them. Now they got to go to Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand the game, but go Stars.
Yeah.
It's always nice, especially playing Canada.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, those Rangers are struggling. God almighty.
Yeah, they didn't do so well in New York.
They didn't do very well last night either.
They
They can't hit the ball. They're
got swept
chasing.
all 3 games and lost the last one 1-0.
They lost last night like 4-1, and they can't hit the ball. They're swinging at bad pitches. They're chasing pitches. They're just not scoring any runs. And
Well, they had that problem earlier and fired the batting coach.
yeah, well,
brought in a new one.
maybe they need to fire this one.
Wasn't it amazing? They brought in the new coach, and the very next night they were knocking it out of the park,
and it just stopped.
and then it slowed down again.
I don't know. They're just chasing bad pitches. They're not hitting the ball. They make bad mistakes. The pitching's been pretty decent, but the offense is terrible.
Yeah.
And that's going to cost them in the long run if they don't get that figured out. Every time I seem to tune in, be able to watch them on TV, my brother texted me last night and says, "Hey, you watching the game?" Because they were on 33, right? Channel 33. I said, "Well, I have it on. I don't know how much I'm going to be watching." Because it seems like every time I watch them, they get beat. And they lose a lot of late inning games that they've had leads on. Like they had, who was that? San Francisco. They went out there and had all 3 games. They were going into the late innings with leads and then blew it last 8, 9 innings. So I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it takes, got to have that mojo going to, and they don't have it.
I can't watch baseball on TV.
I know you can't.
I can't do it. Soccer, baseball, and hockey on TV is not my gig.
Soccer's the worst.
My son, Zachary, loves soccer. Loves soccer.
Really?
He played it.
Hey, guys.
And,
Yes.
We have Ralph on the line right now. So whenever you guys call for him, I will prod him up.
Okay. And then we have Jason Lawing calling in. I'll move him to 9:30. Got it. Thank you.
Back in 30 seconds.
Thank
There
you.
we go.
Starting to hop around here at Classic Kia Carrollton in Carrollton, Texas, and we are here live
Yepper.
on our social media site here on the Automotive Edge Facebook page, Shifting Gears, YouTube, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn is under Kurt Chase. So tune in,
15 seconds till we're back.
like and share.
If they
the
can see behind us
broadcast.
all the awards Jesse Hull's gotten since he's taken over the
Mhm.
dealership. He's the managing partner now and owner and general manager, and he got this thing cooking.
Yes, he
So we
does.
got this weird dude here now.
Alan Glover.
Yeah, strange guy.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. That's a wake up call. Oh.
I close my eyes and I slip go. Two 214-787-1190 is the Automotive Ed Radio Show, helping you with all your automotive needs, whether you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, parts, service, or body shop. We're here to help. 214-787-1190. Let's go to the Automotive Edge hotline, and we have Ralph Paul joining us. Good morning, Ralph. How are you, buddy? Hello, Ralph Paul.
I hear something.
Do we have Ralph Paul? Hello, studio. Studio, are you there?
What's that song? Studio?
He's up and on.
I'm here.
All right.
Are you,
Okay.
can you hear us,
Can
Ralph?
anybody hear me?
We hear you.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ralph, can you hear us?
Got something.
Good morning.
Ralph, are you there? Boy, here we go again. All right, put him on hold. Let's get
Tell
this
me
figured
all
out. Unbelievable. Didn't have this problem last week, so I don't know what's going on. Let's put him on hold. Anyway, got to stay focused. Boy, oh boy. Where's Maddie when you need her? Here's the thing. Right now, I get a lot of questions about where the money is on imports and what's going on with imports and what's happening with imports because of all the tariffs. And I would just tell you that right now, if you're looking for a luxury brand car, other than there's a few models that are still very expensive, their pre-owns are very expensive because they can't get them into the United States without the tariffs, and the pre-owned market is going up. I'm getting calls every week going, "Hey, Kurt, I looked at this vehicle online," and a buddy of mine, Brent, he was looking at a European car, and he goes, "That thing went up $3,000." And I said, "Well, yeah, when you look at what's going on with the tariffs, you've got, I think there's 4 models now that I've looked at where the used car market, when I go by the dealerships and we're looking at MMR, which is Manheim Market Report, and we're watching them jump and jump and jump. And that's because the new products are not pouring into the United States. And so this happens, if this continues to happen, the used car market is going to continue to go up, which is good for you if you're trading that brand in, but you're not buying a new one of that brand, if that makes sense. So one of the lines I'll just tell you is BMW. He looked at a BMW and that they were asking 42 and change. He goes back to the dealership almost a week later. When he got back in town, it was 45.8. And he said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, tariffs. You know, these used vehicles are going up because they're getting them in. They're certifying because they don't have the influx of the new inventory coming in to balance that out." And so I'm going, this is a good time if you have Porsches, you have BMWs, you have Volvo. There's a few lines out there that your pre-owned vehicles in good condition are worth a lot because the dealers can now certify these products and put them back out until the new inventory, they settle on what's coming across the water with all the tariffs and everything that's happening. So if you're sitting on some products, if you'll give me a call or go to my website, theautomotiveedge.com, and you leave me a message, I will call you and we'll get your car booked out. And I think some of y'all are going to be pleasantly surprised. This week we had 3 people that their values actually went up because of what they had. One of my buddies had a Porsche and found out they're having twins and the Porsche would be gone. And he was blown away by what that resale value was versus 2 weeks ago.
Was he more disappointed he was having twins or that he couldn't have the Porsche?
I didn't go there. All I got was, hey, buddy, need some help. And he said, we got 2 biscuits cooking in the oven. And I said, congratulations. You go, got to get rid of the Porsche.
He might have been crying over
Porsche.
Porsche, yeah.
And I went, okay. And he goes, help me out. And I called him back and he goes, golly, you're kidding. He goes, I booked it out. It was only, I said, let me just tell you, it's a hot piece of merchandise right now.
All right.
Which a lot of stuff is. So the big question when I sit with all these round tables and these online groups and everything is, what do I think is going to happen? And I really believe you're going to see more manufacturers building product X here to avoid all the tariffs and these problems in the future. Let's just say we wind up with some knucklehead president next go around. He goes, forget this. We're going back to the way it was. More manufactured. And then you have another one that comes in and goes, time out. We're going back to it. The manufacturers that are moving here, in fact, they're talking about moving the plant. It hasn't been carved in stone yet for Nissan building Sentras here. They're one of their top selling cars. And so that would avoid the tariffs because they're building here in the United States. So you're going to see more plants opening up.
Have you seen on the commercials where all the manufacturers going made in America?
Yeah.
I mean, they're promoting, how important.
And how long has it been since we've seen that?
Oh, maybe since Apple Pie and Chevrolet, baseball Apple Pie and Chevrolet back in the day. Remember that?
I remember, it was, there were so many brands that, built in America and they promoted it. And now, made in America.
It's coming back.
And
they'll tell you it's made here. It's made America made. And, that's good. That's what we need.
Yeah. It's just getting the cost down. When, we don't do the, sweat rooms and the cheap laborers and all the rest of that. And when you change that, obviously the pricing is going up because they can make it cheaper, not better, just cheaper. And once that gets worked out, hopefully sooner than later, I think you're going to see a bunch of change. But on the automotive side, when you have the those 3 mega chip plants being built in the United States, that's going to help again. If there's ever a chip shortage, we don't have to worry about
going
China, Taiwan, these other countries, because everybody, once the chip problem came, there was very few places they could go to. And then those chip companies had to pick and choose who their biggest clients were to make sure they were super serving them. And then everybody else fell in line wherever. And that was a big problem. And so now you've got this President Trump guy in there and all these companies. He went overseas and $1.7 trillion in agreements to start building, producing, and investing here in the United States. And it's not, let me just tell you, it's not a short-term fix. I mean, you're looking to, to build these mega factories and do what they're wanting. You're looking at, probably when he's out of office, a lot of these places will still be under construction or whatever's going on, that it needs to be maintained.
But they've invested the money here to do it. And that's the good news, whether he's in office or not. They've invested that money, so they're not going to just pull up and go somewhere else. They're putting the money here now and working towards that. And, what would you rather do if you knew that some of the things were being made by maybe child labor versus buying something that you knew wasn't? I don't get why people don't understand that there could be a problem there. I want to pay a little more when I know it's not causing that.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, look at labels and look at the barcodes, and they're giving out all the numbers to let you know where it's being made.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of proactiveness. When I go out, I look at a lot of labels.
Of course.
I mean, some of this stuff is, unavoidable when you look at it and made in wherever. But I buy, even when I was looking at pants, I was shocked going, I can't believe some of these, like I love the golf attire. I love the golf polos. I like the golf shorts and stuff. And I'm looking at going, golly, we can't make that here.
Indonesia, all these crazy places.
Indonesia, Vietnam, India, wherever
China.
the case may be. And when I talk to people that are involved in this, they're going, they just make it so much cheaper. But then you flip it over to the auto industry. That's not what's happening.
Right. True.
That's not what happened. Our problem is, the tariffs and the back and forth, because you can't build a car cheap. You know, there's a couple of
The
companies
parts are
that
the pa-
tried that. When you look
Right.
back at Geo,
Mhm.
they didn't make it. Kia, they were building just basic tin cans, and they left the United States and came back. Now look what they're doing. They're one of the, top 5 as far as
well, they knew that,
retail sales right
they knew
now.
that doesn't work. I mean, they found out that didn't work.
Yeah, and so when you take a look at what cheap does, you're not going to see it in the auto industry. You're going to see it in a lot of other products because they can make it cheap. You can't make cars cheap or they won't make it. 214-787-1190. Quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Give me a call, Ralph. Huh? Kurt. You want me to call him? All right. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of our broadcast today here on the Automotive Edge radio show and Facebook page. All right. See what we got going here. What's up, man? We're live on social media. How you doing, brother? It's so good to see you.
Good morning.
Hey, Ralph, hang on. I got you here. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, I can hear you.
Okay, let me see what I can get you turned up a little bit. Talk to me. Ralph?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I couldn't hear. Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay. I got to get your volume turned up. We're on a break from radio, but I wanted to get you dialed up so when we come back on, we'll have you talk to me. Test your mic.
Okay, test. I can hear you.
Okay.
Go
Good.
Stars.
Yeah, a little rough night last night, was it?
Oh man, it was quite defeating.
Were
Wasn't fun at all.
Were you at the game?
Yeah. Brad and I, my son-in-law and I went, and it wasn't cheap. And
It wasn't
anyway, and it was a little discouraging. They never scored. And anyway,
Well,
so
that's what
it
happens
is what it is. Yeah.
when you spend that big money like that. You expect at least one score, don't you?
Yeah.
They don't give you the option of getting your money back if they don't do anything. Like, if you went to your store and they gave you money and you didn't give them the product, wouldn't they want their money back?
Yeah, really.
You're on social media, by the way. They hear you talking, so I'm just letting you know we're live on Facebook and YouTube. They hear you speaking now. Of course, we're not on radio yet, but when we come back, we're about to come back now. So hang on, okay?
Okay, you got it.
Picture perfect memories scattered all around the floor. Reaching for the phone, 'cause
And welcome back to the Automotive Edge radio show here on Talk Radio 1190 AM KFXR. We're also on our social media sites, which is located on Facebook at the Automotive Edge radio show Facebook page, Shifting Gears, our sister Facebook page, LinkedIn under Kurt Chase, and also on YouTube. It's youtube.com/the Automotive Edge radio show. And we appreciate y'all being a part of our broadcast every Saturday morning from 8 to noon. And join us on a hotline right now. Please make welcome Ralph Paul.
Morning, Ralph. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Well, you sure didn't bring that mojo to the AA last night, did you?
We were just talking about that. Ask him if he asked for his money back.
Yeah.
See, you brought the wrong guy. If you would have brought me
Yeah.
instead of Brad, I don't know who this Brad guy is, they would have won. You and I go to the game. Not only did we win the over, they won the game with 3.4 seconds left. You bring Brad, and it's 3-0.
Actually, that's the second game that he's come to that we've lost.
I'd be leaving him home from now on out.
So let's get right to, we always talk about, cars and what's most important. Let's talk a little bit about health today. And that's Ralph Paul, the owner of your CBD store in Keller.com. That's your CBD store, Keller.com. I know the big vote went in last week. We've got a guy down there in Austin that is just 100% against CBD, and I don't understand
I think
it because
it's more against THC, isn't it?
well, he wants it all
Yes.
gone.
Okay.
If it's his way, he'd rather take all 8,000 shops, or whatever they said they were, and lock them all up. They're poisoning the kids. But for me and you, Ralph, and you see it every day. I hear about it all the time when in there. So many people have come through the doors of your shop there in Keller, and you have changed their lives. And I've seen it firsthand, not only with my own family and friends, but the testimonials that we've seen all the time
Firsthand.
at your CBD store in Keller.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we just had another interesting story here. We ran into a lady and her husband at the restaurant the other night, and they've been a customer for about a year or two. And the young daughter had suicidal intentions and so forth, and she cut herself and everything. And make a long story short, the mother decided to get her off the medication. And once she got off the medication, she continues to use our products. And now a combination of our quality CBD and getting off the regular medication, she has changed 100%. And it's just such a joy to hear, stories like that. And this lady got up in the restaurant and hugged us and so forth, just to share her joy with us. And I don't know, it was just heartbreaking. And we get to hear those stories and those situations on a regular basis. And it's just been a real pleasure to help people.
Well, that's major, right? That's a major change in somebody's life, and that's what we've seen a lot of times with your products.
Absolutely. So we're still rocking and rolling, and the sad part if this goes away, and there's some bad players out there, and they're gonna make everybody suffer from it. But
one thing that bothers me the most is I sure get tired of poisoning the kids. Hey, mom and dad, why don't you have a good relationship with your kids? Why don't you talk to your kids? Why don't you work with your kids? We're always blaming it on other people for the action of others. And
right.
there's some bad players out there that they don't play with the .03. They got to go Delta 10, 11, 12, whatever the number is going to be, and put out the wrong products that are not under regulation in the state. And they say, we don't have enough people to monitor all that. And I'm like, well, you know what? What about cigarettes? What about alcohol? What about the kids that are going in underage and buying whatever?
What about any business or any situation that has those things, whether it's there's bad car dealers?
Well, here, think about this. There's no benefit to alcohol. There's no benefit to cigarettes, but there's a big benefit to CBD.
Right, correct.
And their kids are getting their hands on all of it. And you know what? Let's go back to moms and dads. Are you really sitting down and having these conversations with your kid? Are you taking time, or are you just caught up in the world going bad? When I got to tell you, there's been some stories in your store that have gotten me speechless. The lady from North Carolina, the family with the kid that had a bad case of whatever he was going through, to see when you guys were putting all these different water solubles together, the difference from when he got there to when he left, I'm going, man, oh man, this is where the lieutenant governor needs to be in there, seeing exactly what your CBD store in Keller.com is doing to change these people's life. Because we've always gone with one slogan, Ralph. It's not about the high, it's about the health.
Absolutely. And again, our clientele is probably 40 and over, so we don't have young kids coming in our store. And if they do, a big flag goes up. And so it's been a great scenario. And, this is just another testimony how these politicians are making decisions about things they know nothing about.
Right.
And that's the sad part, because the American public, they're going to suffer from it,
Yeah, that's the thing is, I was talking to a buddy of mine that called me up, and he goes, Kurt, he said, I'm blown away. He said, what? And he said, I'm a war vet. And he said, this CBD product has replaced every drug to help me with my nightmares, my restlessness, my temperament, everything. If it wasn't for CBD, I'd be on some medication just gorked out somewhere, or drinking booze and everything. Is I haven't had a drink in 4 years since I started on my CBD products. I'm a pillar of society, and he told me all these stories. I'm going, man, damn, Patrick, you have got to wake up and see that the good outweighs the bad 100 times, and there is a way to reel this in. You're just choosing to go shut it down, which I don't wrap my brain around.
Yep. Well, you know, another story. I know you talked to my brother-in-law. He was a colonel at the Pentagon.
Yep.
And you know, it's another great story how, you know, his esophagus had to be stretched every 2 years, and he had acid reflux really, really bad. And the tincture has created a situation where all this has gone away over the last 3 years. And you talked to him personally.
Yep.
And, you know, it's just, what are these people going to do? They're going to go back to, you know, serious drugs. And, you know, that's a sad part of our society.
Yeah, he told me once he retired from the Pentagon, he was able to get with you and Carol. Y'all put together the right products for him. And he goes, my throat isn't getting stretched, and I have zero acid reflux. And I was going,
right.
Man, oh, man, Dan, Patrick, are you listening to the veterans, the people with a lot of disabilities? This stuff is just completely changing their lives. We had one mom that came up. Her son was taking different products for ADD, and they came up and met your wife. And from his sophomore year to his senior year, he took no more of the products. He was taking CBD and wound up being a B student from failing, getting in trouble, almost being homeschooled, to now he's in the reserves. He's got a career ahead of him, and he's still taking his CBD.
Yep.
So there's I think the way outweighs the good, way outweighs the bad. But here again, when you got a couple of people in there poo-pooing the process, for the good guys, that's where I have a problem with it. And there's a way to correct it and fix it. He's just going in there and putting the gavel down, which is really, really sad. But let's talk about, you got a big Memorial Day sale going on. What's going on at your CBD store in Keller?
Well, we'll be open this Monday, and we have all the tinctures, water solubles. If you buy 2, you get 1 free. And you know, we've got people coming in. The news media is such a powerful thing. We have people coming in buying 3, 4. We had a lady order 12 111 gummies that your wife takes. She just ordered 12 of them. And I've got 40 coming in on Tuesday, and 20 of them are already spoken for. So it's been, we're getting a little bit of a rush on everything. So, you know, people can hang tight there. We're going to still be in business. And anyways, we're out there to help people. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I got to tell you, my wife told me, she said, you got to go by there and get some of that brain boost. And she's a numbers person, and she's on the computer just typing away doing numbers. And she says, I take a can of that brain boost, and it changes my life. And she's not high. She doesn't get the munchies. She's totally focused and doing a better job. And you guys ship for free. So if you don't want to drive to Keller, all you got to do is go to yourcbdstorekeller.com. There's a phone number. Talk to Ralph or Carol or Chrissy or Hannah, and they'll ship it to you.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to take some of that brain boost and give it to the Stars for the next game.
Yeah. They might have had a few seltzers before that game.
Yeah, my buddy sent me
island time, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
My buddy sent me a message that the only way you guys can win is if they're in the penalty box, which, you know, that kind of played to a true statement the other night. But
right.
Anyway, kudos for you getting to go anyway, because a lot of my buddies wish they were at that game, win or lose. I mean, you hockey fans are a different breed of people, and that's good stuff. But remember, it's not about the high, it's about the health. And still, write your congressman. Get online, especially everybody that's saying, going, time out here. You're punishing us for the few bad players, and it doesn't need to be that way, Mr. Patrick. There's too many benefits to CBD, and I've seen it with my wife. I've seen it with my son. I've seen it with our pets. I've seen it with my family members. I've seen my family members that have had surgery heal better without narcotics because of the creams and the tinctures that you guys provide for people there at your CBD store in Keller.
Right. Well, come on and visit us or give us a call. We'll be happy to talk to you and help you out.
That's yourcbdstorekeller.com. Ship for free, yourcbdstorekeller.com. Let them know you were listening to the Automotive Ed Radio Show and enjoy what good people selling a great product can do for your life. That's your CBD store, Keller.com. Have a big day, Ralph. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
See you, buddy.
You bet.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, coming up here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show, we got a whole lot to cover here. One is what's going on with the EV mandates and the cafe, and we're going to be covering that, which is very, very important to you, the consumer. If you don't know what the cafe is, we'll be talking about that because I don't think it matters. But we'll get your thoughts and your inputs here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. We'd say the phone lines are open, but we don't know. We're going to give the number out anyway, and we're going to spin the wheel. And 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. But here's the other thing. You can go to theautomotiveedge.com, and right when you click on it, click on the message icon that pops up. Leave me your name and number. I'll call you right after the show. You don't have to go it alone trying to find the right vehicle, making sure you get all the money for your trade, the best possible interest rate, and the best possible price on your vehicle. It's a hat trick if you go to theautomotiveedge.com and click on Ask Kurt. And I want to thank everybody for all the responses on the newsletter. We found thousands that for some reason weren't connected. And one of them called me and said, I ain't got your newsletter since 2018.
Oh, wow.
But they got it the other day. So we got a new person handling all of the stuff that I don't know how to do. And we'll make sure you get a copy of the newsletter. Quick break, 214-787-1190. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
So,
All right, let's call Jason Lawing.
ready? He's going to be ready?
Yeah.
Where are you going? Thank you, everybody, for being a part of our broadcast today. We
Hey,
are
we have
here.
Jason on the line. I don't know if you guys want to
Who's on the line?
like you guys said, and do it, or you guys just call him
Who's on the line?
Jason.
You want to see if we can get him, or did you do anything different?
No, everything that I had on, I contacted Maddie. Everything that I had on is correct.
Okay. Well, let Kurt step away for a second. I'm not sure which way he wants to go with that. You want to try it or not? I'm talking to you, Ariana.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah. Do you want to try it? You think it's going to work? Because
We can try it.
we're
Like I
hearing.
said, I contacted Maddie, called her. She told me everything was correct and up and on.
Well, we're hearing them.
Y'all were both on air, but you guys just couldn't hear each other.
Well, we can
and
hear
I don't
them, but
know
they
what to do
can't
with
hear us. So Jason's on the line. Do you want to see if we can get him? You want to test it or give it a shot, or do you want me to just call him?
Just call him. I'm not.
Tell Jason I'm going to call him. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going
All right, sounds good.
I'm not.
All right.
We need to get everybody in the studio early every Saturday and do this and check it.
No, I have his number.
3 out of 5 out of the 5 weeks is not working for me. We know we got one more week. Figure it out.
I thought I had his number. Write down his number for me because I thought I had it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
That right there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me do this.
How you doing? Good.
7. Is it the top one? The 682 number?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 minute till we're back.
Let's see what we get here. One ringy dingy.
Who did that?
Good morning.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, right there. We got you. We're on a break here. We're on social media, so they
Oh,
can.
you thought we were talking about you.
We're the people on social media can hear you, so
Okay.
don't curse me out. Okay, till
30 seconds store back.
we get live on the radio,
Okay.
then you can do it. Good morning to you. How you doing?
Doing great.
Awesome. You having to take off next week to Virginia?
No, I go the June. What is that? Like the third week in June.
Oh, I thought it was the first.
I'm
one.
going with him this time.
I want to go
Yeah.
too.
I'm gonna go sit in class with him for a week.
There you go. Bring you
Vamonos.
bring you some no-dos.
Oh, it's hysterical. Los Lonely Boys. Do you hear that, Jason?
I do hear it.
You grooving?
I agree. Oh, the music.
Yeah. You hear that?
I don't hear the music.
How about that? Do you hear it?
Lord help me to get away. I love this song. One of my top
No.
5.
Still not.
214-787-1190. Joining us on the Automotive Edge hotline, our good buddy, General Sales Manager Jason Lawing, Eldorado Chevrolet, 380 and 75, where pressure makes diamonds, not happy customers. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. What another beautiful Saturday. Real excited for the going into the summer. Not about the heat, but
Yeah. Well, we got some overcast kind of blocking it right now, which is a good thing.
I love the heat.
So,
do you really?
Yeah,
so
I do.
Jason, I was talking, there are a lot of people talking about APR. Well, I got to tell you, if you want a pickup truck, forget the APR. Not that forget the APR. You can still get a good APR, but talk about the discounts on your Chevy Silverados today.
I mean, right now we've got $13,500 off of 2025 Crew Cab Silverados. How crazy is that? And then there's 0% available. You've got 0%.
Wow.
So yeah, I know, forget the rate, but hey, we can beat the bank right now with 0%. Silverado trucks, there's a great selection going on right now. Inventory is still running good. Honestly, the trading values are doing great. Rates are low. Discounts are high. Here we are again. What another great time. I don't think it's been this good since 2019.
Yeah, I was looking back, and the last time that we saw these kind of discounts and the 0 APR come back over 48 months, you're exactly right, was 2019, where things are looking really, really good. And one of the big things, people are talking about, what are tariffs doing? Is it hurting the Chevy plants? Are they slowing down on production? What's going on with like the big bad boys, your Tahoes, your Suburbans? Talk about your inventory mix and what's going on with Eldorado Chevrolet and the inventory on your lot.
Believe it or not, only thing we're missing right now are EVs, and that's just because you got the crazy lease going on under $300 a month for a 2-year lease on an EV Equinox. But no, Silverados, Tahoes, Suburbans, I've got plenty of inventory. Actually, it's been probably one of the best years we've had for Tahoe and Suburban, not only with having the selection, but the amount of vehicles that are being sold. If you're not needing a full-size truck, you're wanting a mid-size truck. How about the Chevy Colorado? I love that. One of my favorite trucks.
We know.
And of course,
you have the most unique Chevy Colorado every time you get one.
Oh yeah, no, I dress them up. All that stuff's factory too, which is why it always looks so good together. Is because I order all those parts. They're all GM accessories.
You know what you have going on there, Jason? No one will ever pull up and go, "Wow, I saw a truck just like that."
You're exactly right.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about anybody in your neighborhood going, "Wow, they're driving the same thing I am."
No, you might get the same color, but it's not going to look the same. The Equinox, Traverse. Man, there's just so many. The inventory is really, really great right now. The selection is awesome, and there's still more coming. I think we're scheduled to get another couple hundred vehicles here in the next 2 weeks. So inventory is rolling in. The deals are great, and the rates are awesome. So it's a great time. Really is to buy a vehicle. I think that right now your dollar still goes the same amount distance that it did the way that it's been going for the last 6 years. So it definitely is a good time.
Well, let's talk about, I've been really hyping up on your diesel that you have in your Tahoe and your Suburban, which is different from the truck, and talk about that. And it's a minor financial upgrade to have that on that product, different from the pickup trucks.
It is. For less than $1,000, you can have a diesel motor in a Tahoe. Now, one thing I did do is they gave me a demo, and I said, well, I want a diesel half ton because that's the same motor that's in the Tahoe and the Suburban, and I want to real road test this thing. Holy cow. I had no idea that you can get 600 miles to a tank. I had no idea you could get 600 miles to the tank.
Wow.
It's not loud. It doesn't stink. I've probably had to use the diesel exhaust fluid. I've had to do it once, and that's been it. I cannot believe the amount of not only just the fuel economy, but the amount of power, the instant torque, the quietness, and responsiveness of the vehicle. I am blown away. I'm going, I don't know why not all of our vehicles are diesels. This is absolutely wonderful. It's the first diesel vehicle I've ever driven too. So, but for less than $1,000 in a Tahoe, and to be able to get, 500-600 miles to a tank of gas, holy cow.
Yeah, plus you're going to add in the longevity as well. The secret to diesels are keeping your fuel filter clean, even though they've done so well with a much better, cleaner product with the diesel fluid, is the longevity that you're going to get with it as well.
Absolutely. And resale value. That's the other part of it is, resale value on diesel is actually higher than gasoline. And it's not just because you had to pay $1,000 for the motor. The belief is exactly what you're talking about: longevity.
Right.
And the cost of maintenance is not that much more than having a gasoline vehicle.
No doubt about it. Over $13,500 off. Now, people are talking about the Malibus. What's going on with your Malibus?
So Malibu obviously is coming to an end. GM announced they're retiring that vehicle this year. Inventory is still there. I've still got a few Malibus here on the lot. We're discounting them $6,000. And so I hate to see that vehicle come to an end. It was a great vehicle. Still, probably one of my favorites that my wife drove was her Malibu. She loved that vehicle.
Well, that car saved my son's life with somebody that was texting and driving. So I hate to see it go. Hey, we got to run the break. I'd like to give you a call back a little bit after 11 o'clock and go back through everything again if you have time to visit, because I know we got a whole lot more to cover. It's top of the hour. We got to run. We'll be talking to Jason Long again here shortly. General Sales Manager, Eldorado Chevrolet. Go to EldoradoChevy.com. Over $13,500 off Silverados today at Eldorado Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Quick break, 214-787-1190. We'll be right back.
Hey, Jason. Well,
yes, sir.
Well, I'll give you a call in a little bit.
We'll go 11:15.
11:15. How about that?
Perfect.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
You bet.
What did Alan say when he came up?
I don't know. I think he wanted to say something, but he didn't know if we were on radio or not. I said we were on the phone, so he said okay. So is he going to join us?
I don't know.
Does he want to?
I don't know.
What do you know?
I don't know. I know we got to get things fixed.
Well, we're getting it there today. Thank God for the backup system, the Bo Carver system.
That's right. The Carver come through it.
The Carver
again.
connection.
The Carver cometh.
Bo Paul Productions at work. That's all right. We're getting them. I got him dialed in. I thought I had his number already, but I guess I didn't. But we're here live today at Classic Kia Carrollton in Carrollton, Texas. So come out, and they are hopping along pretty good this morning already. So come out and test drive one of these Kias, man, before you buy anything in Carrollton, Texas. Oh, there we go. Today myself again.
You like that, don't
Yeah.
you?
Hello. Come out and test drive one of these Kias, man, before you buy anything in Carrollton, Texas. Oh, there we go. Today. Yeah. Well, that's all right. We're getting them done. That's what it's all about. But all right, Naismith, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. Felix, the mayor joined us too just a little bit ago. Thank you. Says, hey guys, looking good. I'm sure you're just talking about me, Mayor.
He was.
I bring all the beauty to the show.
You do.
A little bit of technical attitude as well, occasionally. Doing the bailout. I'm like I'm like the backup quarterback when the first stringer's struggling. Then I come up and make things happen. What was his name? Long. I can't remember his name. Behind Roger Staubach. What was his name in that game where he came in?
Oh, Clinton Longley.
Clint Longley.
And then slap Roger in the locker room.
Yeah, that
Who
didn't.
slaps Roger?
I never saw him again after that.
He
did you?
gone.
No, I never saw that again.
But he did come in and throw 3 TDs against the Washington Redskins and win.
Yeah. But he did that before he slapped Roger, didn't he?
No, after.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
in the locker room. Yeah.
Well, what was the reason he slapped Roger?
I don't know what happened, what they got into, but biggest career move of his life.
Yeah, not a good one either. He was done after
Who
that. Like,
does that?
no, not to Roger. Are you kidding me? All right.
Yeah, there's some things you do and some things you don't
No.
do, and that was a
Maybe one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks ever, and you're going to slap him in the locker room.
yeah, that was a don't do that they did.
Yeah. It's do what you do when you don't do.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That's something crazy. But that happens in our world today. People are losing their...
Not today. Today, nobody would ever do that.
Well, maybe not that. But
Roger?
no. I know a lot of people would like to slap Dak.
Oh,
Slap him into reality.
all my buddies call me, hey, we got your tickets for the season. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a funny guy.
Yeah. We got all these wide receivers, but who we got throwing to them? That's what I'm worried about. We'll see.
Got my goo juice. I
Yeah.
haven't had breakfast or lunch all week.
Good for you. You're looking good.
Just been dinner.
And working out and hurting your back.
Oh, yesterday I moved about 200 pounds of rock, 4 new plum trees, and 30 pieces of sod to finish up the front yard.
And I'm a guy that's lucky to get out to mow my yard on a riding lawnmower.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some of that today. I hadn't been able to mow because that last big rainstorm we got, I think it was like Sunday or Monday. I don't know what it was like. We got pounded. It rained and thunderstorms. It was so funny. Barbie Ann stepped out for a few minutes, 2 steps outside the door, and we had one of the biggest claps of thunder ever in our life out there. And she saw the lightning hit across the way right next door. She come flying
1
back,
minute till we're back.
flying back in their house, and her hair was standing up like she just holy
Yeah, that
cow.
lightning hit, and my dogs went nuts. But here's the thing. I'm watching on the radar, and it just split.
For y'all.
Now, you think about it, about 5 years ago when we had, or 4 years ago, when we had Ice Mageddon, Keller, my neighborhood, was the worst hit
Mhm.
of any place in DFW. We had every news media in the world
Yeah,
out there,
it did.
and it destroyed a total.
Well, you got
Zaxby's
hit
home.
hard
30
too.
seconds till we're back.
Thank you.
But we're in Keller.
I know,
And
you
so
got-
my son's brand new car got totaled. Melinda's RAV4 had over 20 grand in damage. Our roof was total. I mean, and I went outside to try to throw something on. It was coming down such big hunks. That first one, it hit in front of me. I was like, oh, no. Goodbye, cars.
You needed your helmet on, didn't you?
Whew, I've never seen anything like it. And I mean, at 7 o'clock this morning, there was 200 roofing companies out there and the news.
Oh, of course.
Are you ready for the show? I said, are you ready for the show? Ladies and gentlemen, the show you all. Please make welcome Curtis Chase and the Automotive Edge.
There we are. There we kicking in here.
Won't haunt you anymore with a brave operating lover soul. Come ride with me to the distant shore.
214-787-1190 is the number. Always remember, for all your automotive needs, whether you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, parts, service, or body shop, go to theautomotiveedge.com. Right there, you'll see a message icon pop up, or you can go to contact Kurt. And all you got to do is leave me your name and number. I got a ton of emails this week. A lot of them looking for cars for the kiddos or replacing a car. And there was one email that was 3 pages. And it was all past experience and everything that had happened. We're going to wipe all that away. The easiest way to acquire a car is when you have somebody that knows everybody and knows how to help you from hello to congratulations with your car. And that's me. We've been doing this now for 21 years, and we can help you with all your automotive needs. The other day, we had a person that sent me their RO, which is their request order for work at a service department. We're looking at going, something's not right here. We had that $3,800 bill cut down to $700 of what actually needed to be done to the car. And this guy called me up and he goes, "Who do you think you are and misleading these people?" And I said, "Do me a favor." And I gave my email address, and I never heard back.
He never sent you that.
And I
RO,
said,
huh?
that is the biggest bunch of baloney. And they had this person with 58,000 miles on their car doing a 75,000 mile maintenance and telling them, putting fear in them what would happen if they left there without doing it. It was terrible. And we're going to pull all that aside and put you on the right road with the right people doing it the right way. This segment of the show is brought to you by the great folks at the all-new Grapevine Dodge. I got to tell you, it is something to see when you go over there and look what they've done to open this place up and make it as friendly and hospitable as a dealership can be. The new service drive, the attention to detail, I could go on and on and on about the all-new Grapevine Dodge. They level the used car bill, and it's all in one place to make more room for product. And with that, get this, 25% off MSRP. 25. They're not even 25% markup. 2025 Ram 1500 Lone Star and Laramies, 25% off MSRP, or get this, employee pricing plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. And get this, no payments for 90 days. So 25% off MSRP or employee pricing at 1.9 for 72 months. And either way, no payments for 90 days. And then we take a look at the Rebel, the Limited, the Trademan, 20% off MSRP, or once again, 1.9 for 72 months. $10,000 off a Ram 1500 Tungsten. And if you don't know what a Ram Tungsten is, if you remember back the Lincoln Blackwood pickup truck, Lincoln took a Ford F-150, and man, they jazzed this bad boy up to have everything in the kitchen sink on it. That's what the Tungsten is with Ram. That truck is not missing anything. And if I hadn't bought my Rebel, I'd be driving a Tungsten. 10,000.
Well, we'll see that here in about a month or two.
Employee pricing and no payments for 90 days. And I mean, it just keeps going. 2025 Rams employee pricing plus $1,000 bonus of cash plus 90 days, no payments. And it just keeps going. How about 10 grand off a Jeep Gladiator Mojave? 10,000 off. So you don't have to worry about negative equity when you're driving off the lot. How about a Rubicon? 2025 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon X, $10,000 off MSRP, 20% off MSRP on 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicons, plus no payments for 90 days. And it goes on. The place, Grapevine Dodge, 121 and William D. Tate, with the discounts. They can't get any better. Maybe they could, but I can't see 10, 15, 25% off, which you can do now. Plus your trades are worth more than they have been in many, many years. Pull the virus out that I've seen in a very long time. The place, go to grapevinedodge.com. That's grapevinedodge.com. Okay, we're going to have a little trivia here.
Okay, here we go.
Are you ready?
Tighten your belts up.
Okay. I always get in trouble when I do these topics, but we're going to do it anyway. Who's a better driver, men or women, as of 2025?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to say probably men, but I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that.
You would be incorrect, sir.
Okay.
Women, and get this, there's more licensed women driver than men drivers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that because women drive better and the men always lose their license because
Well,
they
no.
drive bad?
You got to look at, on the average, a year, women drive 9,830 miles, where men drive almost 17,000.
I got you. So they're driving a whole lot more, which puts them in a position of getting in trouble more.
So when the tickets are written for men, most of them are for
Workers.
speeding.
Okay, I got you.
And for women, most of the tickets are for
Running a stop sign or
distracted driving.
something. Yeah, okay.
So whatever whatever
Well,
they're doing is,
Right.
it's
Putting their makeup on.
they're
stuff.
distracted.
Yeah, I got
Yeah. So
you. Which I don't see how that makes them safer. But
yeah. So distracted driving. And it's funny when they were compiling all this data, you know, I guess talking to all the police officers, and they were going, well, I was on my phone or I was putting my makeup on. I didn't notice. And some of the stories were, when you look through this whole thing, were just absolutely
funny. Like
hysterical. But, you know, it's amazing now. It's almost 50-50 on buying vehicles.
Well, that's interesting because I you know, from a lot of the people that I talk to, women hate going to a dealership, and men seem to have more testosterone about going like, yeah, I know how to handle it. So that surprises me.
Well,
Don't you agree with that?
Yeah. Right now, including private and commercial vehicles, in the United States, there's 283 million vehicles registered.
Wow.
And then when I started breaking it down, you know what the average ownership time is now on a new vehicle? Somebody buys a vehicle. What do you think the average time they're going to keep it?
I'm going to say 5 to 6 years.
How about double that?
Wow.
Yeah.
You're talking about 10, 12 years?
In 2023 is 12.5 years.
Wow.
And in 2024, they don't have the data for 2025, 11.8 years.
Wow.
And the reason being
25.
is what?
Because the cars last, and they you know, they pay for them, and the money that's too high for the new vehicles. They want to keep what they've got, and they're stretching it out.
I mean, how many $46,000 vehicles are you going to buy? And so you figure at least 5 to 7 years to pay it off.
Right.
And then they're keeping it after that. And here again, because of the quality that they, you know, weren't able to do before.
And a lot of the vehicles from some of those time frames are so nice and still good looking that they don't look much different than a new one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you look at some of these, like I know Barbie Ann's Acura. I mean, that thing looks still brand new. The style of it is no different than some of the brand new ones.
Yeah, when you look at the brand loyalty, it's amazing. Number one is 7.25 years, whatever it is. Subaru led the pack with loyalty, and then the next is going to be your Hondas, and then your Toyotas. Audi, what a loyal base Audi has. You know, I'm sitting there looking at, you know, people that really keep the
Volvo's pretty loyal.
Volvo loyal, and some of the vehicles that they don't build a lot of, Volvo being one, Subaru being, they're not these you know, mass produced like Toyota, Honda, Ford,
Right.
Chevy, Dodge, Chrysler. There's a lot of brand loyalties that extend even past that, where people, and it doesn't matter what's going on. I have my eye doctor, his boys, there's nothing they're going to drive but a Subaru. It doesn't matter. I think you'd have to give them something free
and
for them to change their mind. So brand loyalty has really come back into play, not only in cars, but I'm still hearing all the crazy, crazy stories about pickup trucks.
Right.
You know, when I pulled up my truck, it was amazing. They're going, golly, why would you buy that? And so I was talking to a guy the other day about my truck, and I says, hey, have you seen that? I saw one of the coolest trucks, and it was that Toyota Tundra, and it was orange with the black wheels.
Right.
I was like, he goes, well, you know, they have that frame. That thing rides like crap. And I'm like, wow. So I'm talking to the Toyota guy, and he goes, man, why would you waste your money and buy a truck like that? And I'm going, Well, here's the deal. Nobody builds a bad pickup truck. I
Right.
love them all. I've owned all of them. But I'm not a brand loyal guy because I'm all over the board. I mean,
Yeah, we've seen that.
you know,
We've seen that quite a bit over
Yeah.
the last few years.
I like the cool effect. If it's cool, if I can afford it, I'm probably going to buy
Well,
it.
you're a very
1 minute till break.
cosmetic person. That may be your number one thing right there.
Yeah. And so, and I said I would never buy a dark vehicle with black wheels. And what do I have?
I'm looking at it right now.
Dark vehicle with black wheel, but the inside and everything about it's just a cool factor. So there you go, ladies. You're getting a whole lot less tickets for speeding.
Congratulations.
By far, and you're buying a whole lot of cars, and you're keeping the industry viable. And
30 seconds to break.
Keep up the good work. 214-787-1190. Let's take a quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
All right. Little Tears for Fears for your afternoon, morning drive. Thank you for being a part of our broadcast today here on our social media sites. The Automotive Edge Facebook page, Shifting Gears, YouTube under Kurt Chase, and also YouTube. That's youtube.com/the Automotive Edge Radio Show. Thank you. And like and share the broadcast if you don't mind. Get it out there. And the best way to do that is if you're tuned in, there's a little white arrow at the top left-hand corner. Click out of it, and you'll still see us. And then right below where you see us, there's a share button. Of course, all the way to the left is a like button. Hit that first, and then hit that share button, and it'll ask you to share again. And then that goes to your timeline, which allows people to know that your friends and followers will know that they get to see it. And, we're just here to help. And if we can get that help out there to the folk, if they're not interested, they won't click on. If they will, and maybe learn something that'll help them down the road and save them some money. That's a beautiful thing, and that's what we want to do. And it's part of what we're trying to do every Saturday morning here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show. And the radio station is Talk Radio 1190 AM KFXR out of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. You can also, if you're not in the North Texas area, you can still get the radio signal by downloading the iHeartMedia app. So if you don't do social media, you can do that. Tell them friends, hey, if you don't do social media, you don't do YouTube or none of that, just download that iHeartMedia app and then search Talk Radio 1190 Dallas, and it'll take you there every Saturday morning. We'll be there. We are at Classic Kia Carrollton in Carrollton, Texas. And Sherry, good morning. How are you? Good to see you too, joining in. Appreciate that. Hope the weather's going out there pretty good out there in East Texas. I know here this past week, we just got, I think it was about Sunday, we got about 4 inches of complete downpour and lightning and thunder, and it's crazy. But beautiful area out there in East Texas. Love you, Sherry. And of course, love my longtime buddy, Rick. Tried to call him yesterday and left a message, so I hope he got it. Letting him know I was thinking about him. Always thinking about y'all. Appreciate that. We are here every Saturday morning from 8 to noon here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show and our live streaming. Always good to have each and every one of you tuned in and being a part of it. Always here trying to help. And if you got a question or a comment.
1 minute till we're back.
Okay, thank you. If you got a question or comment, you can make a comment on our social media site, just like I got there with Sherry saying good morning to y'all this morning. If you got a question too, you can always ask the question. We can get to it if we can. And appreciate y'all helping them out as well as helping us out. And hopefully we're helping you out. So Kurt's got a customer that came in to the through the show. I mean, he's out
30
there.
seconds till we're back.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. And Alan Glover's over there giving them a nice little welcome treatment.
Well, Julie Upton tuned into my show, get this, in 2008.
That's before me even.
And has been following the show. And then she was the one, my son went back through my computer, cleaned it all out, found over 1,000 people, then another 800, then another 200, and combined everything. And she got my newsletter and said, I'm going to go see Kurt.
There you go. How about that?
Yeah.
That's what we need right there. You're breathing hard.
214-787-1190 is the number, or go to theautomotiveedge.com. Best way to do it is go to theautomotiveedge.com. If you need help immediately, 214-787-1190, or go to my website. And right when you click on the Automotive Edge, the message icon will pop up. Leave me your name and number. Let's get you going with the right people. And here's the thing. Get out and test drive. This is the best time, especially the end of the month. You know, we're going over all these massive discounts and incentives that they're having with all these different manufacturers. You can't pick a better time to shop. Just to get out there and shop and go, yeah, I like it. No, I don't like it. Here, I want to drive this one. I'd rather drive this. This is the time to do it. Because so many people, they want to move this inventory. 26s are already out. Think about that. This is the month of May.
See, I remember a time
26 models are coming out.
that it was usually about September back in the day.
Yep.
When they started
Right after Labor Day.
Right. And they were advertising, you know, about the summer. Around the summer, they're going like, hey, it's coming out. September's the time of the release.
Yep.
So why are they doing it so early nowadays?
Well, let me just back you up. Prior to 2010, GM was coming out in January.
Oh, that's insane.
And you go, Happy New Year. So here it was, let's say 2008. Hey, the 2009 new Chevy Cruiser. You're going, wow, boy. But they wanted to stay ahead of the curve. Well, it kept getting pushed out. So now you're seeing, you know, the big changeover for the year in the auto industry is June. And that's when the bulk of all the vehicles and changes and everything are going to start coming out.
Well, their physical end is usually about May, isn't it? For most manufacturers or cars?
June.
Oh, it's June. Okay.
June is when you see the big changeover where most of your 26s, you know, if they're not on the ground, that they're en route, or the day they're going to be here, or the month they're going to be here within, you know, a week or two.
I got you.
You'll know when they're coming out. You just got to be careful because all the crazy advertising that's out there, when I get calls from all these people going, hey, tell me about this car coming out. I'm like, did you read the last line? This is an illustration. This is what we would think it would be. It's not really the car. And there's a bunch of that out there right now. So you just got to take for what it's worth. Hey, let's talk about the home of the Love It or Leave It promise. That's Grapevine Ford. My buddy Cameron and my other buddy Cameron on the desk there, taking care of all the numbers to make sure your Ford needs are taken care of. They've extended employee pricing on all the Fords. How cool is that you get to walk in and it's no back and forth and haggling and what would you do and what would you take? Can we make this? It's already carved in stone that you pay what they pay for your next new Ford. Great financing. And again, when they were talking to me, I was over there the other day. We had two people over there trading. And one of them called me. He goes, I tell you what, I did what you said. I got my vehicle appraised up front, and there was no doubt I was trading. How cool is that? That some people, you know, you wait till the end and you're never happy with what your trade appraisal is. They found out up front when, let's go get a truck. And everybody's happy. And with the home of the Love It, Leave It promise, you bring that vehicle home, you buy it on Saturday, you drive in, you go, I didn't fit in the garage. My wife wasn't really surprised with the surprise. She would have rather had. Take it back and let them put you in the one that you do love. Chaz Gilmore and his staff, they've got it rocking. The place, Grapevine Ford, right there between Main Street and Texas Trail on Highway 114. Ask for Cameron or Cameron. Let them know you're listening to the Automotive Edge radio show and enjoy the best way to own your next new Ford. That's grapevineford.com. All right. Let's see here. They had the coolest race yesterday at the Indy 500. Did you see it?
Yeah, I had one this morning coming down 35E too. No, but what was that
The
yesterday?
Oscar Mayer Wienermobile race.
Oh, who won?
They had 5 of them out there.
Which,
Top speed.
which wiener won?
The Wiener went 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
Top
Around the
speed.
track?
Around the track. It was so cool. I turned it on and start your wieners.
So they all had the look of the Oscar Mayer?
There were the Wienermobiles.
Oh.
I'm telling you, they were the Wienermobiles.
Were
The ones
they
that
going-
travel all over the United States.
Were they going around a dirt track or around like a
They were
asphalt?
at the Indy track.
Oh, the Indy track. So they really were going, huh?
You're not listening to me, are you?
I pay attention.
The
every now and then.
Wienermobiles were at
Sometimes
not the Indy 300 or 400, the
Sometimes
Indy
I digress.
500.
Wow, that's really
First
cool.
time ever.
And
A Wienermobile race.
how close were they running? Were they kind of close all the way around, or
Yeah, they were spread out. I think one of them was struggling a little bit.
one
His
wiener,
wiener wasn't
one
working.
wiener was struggling?
Yeah, his wiener wasn't working, but
Wait,
it was really cool because I remember being in high school and the Wienermobile showed up and we got to get in. It had a bunch of seats too. I was really impressed, and so my name didn't get called to take the ride in it, but
Oh,
I remember they used to give away the weenie whistles.
I don't remember that.
You know, buddy,
Never
you have
had
a
a
weenie
weenie.
whistle?
No, but I could sure use one nowadays.
No, I still remember the baloney song.
Don't remember that either.
My baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR. My baloney has a second name. It's MAYER. I love to hear it every day. And if you ask me, I'll always say Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLOGNA.
That is very good. Congratulations. Now that you get a call from them saying, please don't push
Don't
us
sing
anymore.
that song again.
But I do remember I'd like to be an Oscar Mayer wiener.
That's right.
And how'd the rest of it go?
Everyone would be in love with me.
That's true. And if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener,
That is what I truly
truly
like to be.
Hey, there it
There
is.
you go.
Bring us some Oscar Mayer wieners this morning. And
Yeah,
congratulations
so,
on the Oscar Mayer winning the Indy 500.
Yeah, I didn't see him step out of getting an order or anything, but so cool seeing 5 Wienermobiles going around the track.
I got to YouTube that. Check
Oh, it was
that out.
greatness. I'm like, whoever came up with that idea, good for you.
Once the show's over, everybody, don't leave. But once the show's over, y'all Google the Oscar Mayer wiener race yesterday at Indy.
That's right. Well, a lot of people are talking to me about, what's going on with the EV mandates and the cafe, all these different questions. I appreciate it. Some of my listeners really get detailed and really get into what's going on in the market and watch it. Here's a big thing. There should have never been an EV mandate. Never, ever, 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 ever. To mandate the cars that we should drive. That is like the craziest, nuttiest, nutcase thing I've ever heard. It's just like we want everybody to start wearing hush puppy shoes because of the quality of the rubber that is on the shoes. We think everybody ought to wear hush puppies. We think everybody should have an iPhone. Forget all the other phones, but we want iPhones in everybody's hands. How sad a day that we should have the government, people in Congress, making mandates on what we should drive due to the fact of what they're mandating the manufacturers to make. And what did that create? It created a big backup and an overstocking of EVs that punished the dealers because of the interest they were paying on having cars they couldn't sell. And the ones they were selling, I would just say that I didn't talk to one dealer that was making money selling electric vehicles.
Well,
how
would you like it if you had a restaurant and the government came in and said, okay, you can only sell chicken sandwiches. You have to have more chicken sandwiches than hamburgers. How many people are going to, and so they're still coming in buying hamburgers. So you got to raise the price on the hamburgers to fit the bill of what you have to offset of people not wanting chicken sandwiches.
That brought me to a good point. I remember in Irving, when I lived in Irving, they wanted to be able to buy margaritas at a Mexican restaurant or cold beer,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
No, 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 no. Forever and ever and ever. They wouldn't do it. Then they said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 35-65. 35-65. Yeah, you have to sell 65% food to alcohol.
Okay.
I'm like, who came up with that number?
Well, we got an idea.
And so they were actually going into the restaurants and looking. I remember El Chico on 183, and they had shut it down because they weren't selling enough food to alcohol sales. And I'm going, just think about that for a minute, that we want to mandate where you have to sell this many vehicles in order to be
meet the cafe
guide with the cafe and what the government's ordering you to do. It's just nuts. What happened to free enterprise? And you got to think, what's really in it for you? And they say, well, if we do more EVs, we're going to save the world. But that's just not true in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It was just a bad bucket of bolts that they were trying to sell. 214-787-1190. Let's take a quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Got a lot of comments on your Wiener song. Sherry Morrison said, way to go, remembering Wiener songs. And Ron Weiss says, hey, guys, been busy lately putting a lift kit on my Jeep this morning. I'm sweating my wiener off. Way to go. This is a wiener kind of morning, isn't it?
I tell you. I remember when I had my wiener whistle.
Now, what did that look like, a wiener?
It looked like a hot dog. And it had a little deal in it, the little part where,
the little
hole in the
thing.
tip of it. Yeah, and you just, it had its own little sound.
That had to look really weird, blowing that whistle.
Only you.
I was just gonna say.
And then there was another trend years ago where people the wiener whistle keychain, man, it was the deal.
I don't remember any of that.
Wow.
I guess I was, too sheltered.
And I'm still a big bologna guy.
I know you are. We go to barbecue places and you get fried bologna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was smoked first, then fried.
Well, whatever.
Where you ate that disgusting barbecue.
It's the only way to eat it. And
no, it's not the only way to eat it.
Who else? Oh, and Justin Crane down at Burleson Nissan.
You got another nasty barbecue eater.
He agreed with me, and that's the only way to eat it is wet. No. It loses all its flavor when you get it so dry like you do.
No.
Yeah, it does. We have to agree to disagree when it comes down to barbecue, obviously.
Nope, because what I do is when I cook mine and I cook it fat up and I do trim it a little bit, I take it and I unwrap it, season it again, and then flip it, and the juices go back through it again. So I have lean barbecue that's juicy.
Yeah, but not a lot of barbecue places do that.
No.
So that's the difference. So you make it where it might be juicy and flavorful from, without that, but most barbecue places don't.
And then I like to open it up and finish it with a little bit of apple juice and rub and give that little kind of a crusty little bark just barely on the edges.
Yeah.
But my barbecue, there's nothing dry about it.
Well, I haven't had it in a long time, so I can't remember. So make me some. Bring me some next week.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be smoking a lot of meat tomorrow.
Smoke it, baby.
I was told to go to that. I haven't been to that new HEB. You've been in there.
Yeah, twice.
But yeah, we went
3
by
times.
there.
I've actually been there 3 times.
We had some friends from our Bible study go to the Sicilian Butcher last night. They'd never been there. And we go by there, and that place is rocking at 9:30 at night.
Yeah, it's.
And he told me, Kurt, that's where you want to go to get those big, giant turkey breasts to smoke on your smoker.
Yeah, they have some great stuff there. I think they're putting one in around Robson Ranch.
Yeah, I saw that up off 35. Well, heck, when you cross over 409 and look to your left, look at how many freaking houses are packing.
Well, they've brought a lot of stuff in there too. If you coming from your way, take a left on that 407, off to the right, they've got all kinds of stuff. They've got restaurants, they've got a lot of things. And
everywhere you go up and you start looking left to right, they're putting in neighborhoods like no tomorrow.
well, that's where 407 Barbecue used to be, right there on the left. As you took a left on 407, that they went.
1 minute tour back.
They went to the other side of 407.
Ariana's getting very authoritative with her
Yes.
times.
Well, she's learning from the best with Maddie. Justin Crane says, "Good morning, guys. How you, buddy? We just talking about you with the wet barbecue."
And about all your specials on your Nissan.
Yes, we did.
If you want to join us, we'll
call
bring
you.
on if you got time.
30 seconds tour back.
Let me know, and I'll call you if you want to be on the air with us, Justin.
So we're gonna have to call her Admiral Ariana. She's becoming very matter of fact to the point.
He said just announced 0% for 60 months on Rogues for Memorial Day, limited time. Hey, you want us to call you, Justin? Just say yes or no. I'm gonna call you anyway.
Call him anyway.
I think I got his number.
All right, Ariana, we want you to sing along with this song, and we want to hear it.
Blame it on my roots.
Blame it all on my roots.
She's not singing.
I showed up in boots, ruined your blind tie. The
last one to know.
I thought I had him, but I need his
The
number.
last one to show I was the last one you thought you'd see there.
Gotta start saving these numbers. Yes, he said yes. Give me a minute, I'll call you. Once I'm getting your number.
I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain. I got a lot of friends in low places, low places.
Right, sitting right next to him.
214-787-1190. It's the Automotive Ed Radio Show, helping you with all your automotive needs. This segment of the show goes to Highly Acura, where you're highly appreciated, highly favored, and highly respected when it comes to your Acura needs. The new ADX is out, and you have the MDX with nothing up front, low payments, and I still say it's the best sport luxury product out there all the way around. The MDX, the RDX, the ADX, the TLX, and the Acura Integra with the shaker. And for you youngsters, that would be a manual transmission available on that car. From sales all the way back to my buddy Dean, the service manager there at Highly Acura, you can't go wrong. Right there at 35 in Riverside, it is the way to enjoy the best shopping and buying experience. I've known David Gomez, managing partner there, for many, 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 many years, and his staff. You know what's great is how much they can tell you about the car and then let you make a decision. And there's nothing better than a salesperson that is very well rehearsed in their product, listens to their customers, and identifies your wants and needs. All wrapped up into one place, highlyacurafortworth.com. That's highlyacurafortworth.com. We got him?
About to.
All right. 214-787-1190. Let's jump into
Jason. Justin, you online with us?
We got him.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and bring him up. The man, the myth, the one that does not know how to say no when it comes to selling you a brand new Nissan. Justin Crane, managing partner, 35 in Renfro. What is going on at your dealership today?
Well, good morning, guys. Good morning. So the big announcement yesterday came late yesterday afternoon. They did 0% for 60 months on Rogues for the holiday weekend. So it's good for yesterday, today, Monday, and Tuesday. That's it. That's a big deal. We sold 5 yesterday. We've already got 3 this morning. That's a really, really big deal. 0 for 60.
So they took your hottest selling product, one of the top selling SUVs in the market that you really didn't need to do anything, and then dumped 0 APR on you for 60 months.
They did, yeah. So you can get and you can still get the cash with it too. So you get a $1,250 rebate and the 0.
Wow.
And honestly, they got 1.9 for 72. So if you're payment conscious, you can get 0 for 60 or 1.9 for 72.
That's
so
incredible.
A really big deal. Really big deal.
How do you like me now?
Yeah. And, don't forget, we have it on Pathfinder too, 0% for 60 on Pathfinder, 19 for 72 on Pathfinder as well.
And for
So
a lot of people, you thought Pathfinder was going away. Let me tell you what, this new Pathfinder is a must drive, a must
Stunning.
see.
Yep.
And you're
Stunning.
really sitting in the driver's seat because Nissan's doing a lot of change. Your new Armada, totally. I mean, if they took the badging off, you wouldn't walk up and go, "Wow, that's the new Armada." You'd have to go inside it to figure out what it is. You got the totally redesigned Pathfinder now, and every time you turn around, Nissan is coming out with a redesigned product, not a remodeled, redesigned product.
100%. Our SUV lineup is the best in the business. Between Kicks, Pathfinder, Rogue, Armada, none better. None better.
And what's really good is Nissan is staying in the car business. You have the Versa, you have the Sentra, and you have
the Altima.
You have cars that are under 25,000. So moms and dads, when you're sending your kids off to college, you don't want to be paying for college and car repairs. Why not? When the average car right now is $24,288. I saw yesterday, you can buy brand new Nissans for less than that and send them off with a warranty and have no worries.
100%. 100%.
All right, 35 in Renfro Road, the man, the myth, the Nissan guru, Justin Crane. And you know what? Everybody really enjoyed. We put the show up on the internet, and people really like all the zingers that Justin Crane hits me with every time we're together.
So do I.
I forgot to tell you that the radio people, they've been calling me. They're trying to kick Kurt off the show, just me and Bo. That's what
there you
right
go.
now. That's what they're thinking.
That's what I heard. I heard the petition filled up in seconds.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey guys, I'm here all day. Come see me. I'm here all day. We're gonna make some deals today.
We got you. Justin Crane, managing partner, 35 in Renfro. And you just heard, for the first time, I didn't know that they have ever done this, 0% APR for 60 months plus $1,250 on Nissan Rogue. One of the hottest selling SUVs in today's marketplace. And they've got a bunch of different trim levels. And then you got the Pathfinder, totally redesigned, 0 for 60 months. And it goes on and on. Then it comes down to where and the people, the place, Burleson Nissan, 35 in Renfro Road. Go online, schedule your appointment now. So when you get there, the vehicle's pulled up, gassed up, ready for you to jump in. Save time, save money. Burleson Nissan, 35 in Renfro Road. BurlesonNissan.com.
Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
You too, buddy.
Brother.
Take care.
214-787-1190. Let's hit a couple of Q&As here. It says, when you look at a car, what should just make you walk away from it, not buy it used?
What you should look for that makes you walk away from that?
Here's the thing. If I'm buying a used car, let's start with the independents. That's always a tough thing because if you're buying a car from an independent, you want to get it into a shop. And the place is Driver's Edge Auto Repair. They've been a sponsor of the show for 21 years. They have the $35 check it before you buy it, headlight to tail light. So what they do is you're buying a vehicle, you always want to get a first set of eyes and second set of eyes on that vehicle. And that way you know what you're getting into. There's so many moms and dads out there, and I get it, you're dollar conscious. Your kid's either going to college or going off on his own, needs reliable transportation, get to and from work. And there's some people out there that can really disguise a vehicle. They can put lipstick on a pig and call it a whatever. And moms and dads don't know how to look at it. You open it up and it looks good. It smells good. They got this thing foo-fooed all up. And you go, that's the car. And you buy it and then find out down the road that you bought a really, really bad bucket of bolts. And
I know the number one thing you look at is the miles. So that I know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing you look at. Then you go around and try to see if there's been any body work.
Right.
Which you've got eyes for. A lot of people don't.
Right.
And that's the number reason we always say, hey, if you're looking at a pre-owned car that you're buying from an individual, get a set of eyes on that and take a look at it, because Kurt is one of the best at it. He can look at it and tell you, hey, this thing's been, in a wreck or had some body work done. And then you look and see if it's had water damage.
Yep.
And that may be the first thing you look at. I mean, the second thing besides mileage, because there's a lot of people really don't know how to see that.
Yep.
And you know how to find that. You know how to look inside there and see if it's been in any kind of water issues. So those are the kind of things that people don't see because they don't have the knowledge about that. And they could be really buying something that looks really pretty, but got a lot of issues that you don't know about that's going to cost you down the road.
And look, let me just tell you, when someone has a car, portions of it repainted, it doesn't mean it's a bad car.
Right. Yeah, we're not saying that.
You know, I had a gentleman that had a quarter panel replaced and very anal about his car. And someone took a shopping cart down that quarter panel and really dug into the sheet metal in this thing. Well, he ordered a brand new Honda quarter panel, had it put on OEM, had it painted OEM paint, and he brought it in. And I looked at it and I said, "What happened to the quarter panel?" Bam, there was the paperwork. And I said, "What was the deal?" And he goes, "It was damaged with a shopping cart, and I went ahead and had a new panel put on it." I've never heard of that. Usually you just get it repaired.
1 minute till break.
But he went ahead and had a new panel put on it. And let me tell you what, I couldn't certify it, but I'm going to tell you what, I called a buddy of mine and said, "Hey, you're looking for a great car to put your kiddo in? I've got it." This guy just traded in this car, had a brand new panel put on it. Why he didn't trade it with the damage, but he put all the money into it. OEM panel, OEM paint. And I said, "This is the car." So I don't just turn my head. If I've seen doors painted, I've seen truck lids painted, and it doesn't mean that that's a bad automobile. Let's find out the quality of the work, OEM parts, and if there's a warranty on it, and I'm still a buyer on that car, I'll still endorse it. But there's some other things that we'll cover when we get back from break. 214-787-1190.
Really?
I'm Kurt Chase with Big Wheel Bo Carver. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
We'll be right back. What?
214-787-1190.
I gave the phone number.
Okay.
Didn't I give the right one?
No, you did.
I mean, well, it doesn't work.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Oh, I got you. Let's make sure 11:15 we get
Yeah.
Jason back.
That reminds me, I got to get Justin's number programmed here. All right. Let's see here.
What a great singer. The guy never made a bad song.
Have you seen him lately?
Yeah, it does not look good.
He's heavy duty, baby.
Well, and that toupee does not serve a purpose.
Still trying to move, though. He's a new. He should change his name to Jelly Roll.
God love him.
He
can still sing, though.
Oh, no doubt about it.
He ought to just stay behind the organ.
Yeah.
You know, but some guys.
Well, you know, he's been doing it all.
Got to give it up. He ain't giving it up.
But he's been doing all his life. So, I mean, why? I mean, people don't.
Yeah, and you know what? He still packs the places wherever he's at. People still want to see him.
Oh, the music is phenomenal. Fantastic. No doubt.
I remember when he came out with Shake, Shake, Shake. I'm Your Boogeyman. I mean, I've got them all on my phone. Like I said, he did not come out with one bad song.
No.
Everything he came out with, you could dance to.
Yep. Yeah, and still doing it. Still doing it.
Disco is not dead, regardless what everybody thinks.
Boy, they tried to kill it. Remember when at baseball games and stuff, and they were going, you know, knocking disco. Why did that happen?
Haters.
Was it because of what happened in the disco era, with the way like Studio 54 and all that? You know, all the.
Well, there's a lot of guys lost their wives. They want to be out disco dancing.
Sure did. Probably
big old hairdos.
Probably lost their life with a lot of white powder too.
You know, there's a lot.
There's a lot of that going on.
Ladies' night, goodness gracious! I remember we had a deal: $4 for girls, $8 for guys. $4 for girls, $8 for guys. Open bar all night.
And packed to the gills.
Packed, and there was a line out the door. And you know, we couldn't in. You just go through there and pick out all the real pretty ladies and bring them all in, and then you had ladies' night, and it was free drinks for the ladies till 7:00. Place packed. You know, bunch of husbands. Where'd you go, honey? Oh, I was in a business meeting. Yeah, we used to do the Mary Kay parties and Southwest Airlines parties.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that place was packed.
Where
But
was it located?
Well, we had the one at 10859 Harry Hines, right between Walnut Hill and Royal Lane, and then I moved
Which
over.
back in the day was a pretty hopping place.
Yeah, then I moved over to European Crossroads and worked over at the Bell Ringer. We had the Bell Ringer Bachelor and Beggar Club, and
where was that?
the Bell Ringer was amazing. It said the Bell Ringer on our business card said a club for the discriminating, but it wasn't discriminating black or white. It was a tire.
Right, I got
So
you.
everybody walked in dressed nicer. Then you had the Bell Ringer. I mean, the Beggars across the street was what we called the dance club. And then you had the Bachelor Club, which was for sugar daddies or something. I don't know what they were doing. Anyway, you go over to Beggars, man, you'd see people on that dance floor, and it wasn't that big. And boy, could those people shake it up.
There you go.
I'm telling you what, back then, there were some people that could really, good dance, not that crazy stuff you saw, on whatever, but it was good times. And every Sunday, all the bars opened up and they had beer and burgers, $5, all the beer and burgers you could eat and drink.
30 seconds till we're back.
Thank you.
And it was casual. Everybody was, all the higher end clubs closed down, and it was just good times.
Oh, Sherry Morrison says, now remember standing in the chairs watching concerts at Six Flags. Shake, shake, shake.
Oh, yeah.
She's saying, Bo. Yeah, those were great times back in there.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Huey Lewis in the News in New York one night. Boy, was that a show.
That's another guy that never put out a bad song.
No, it was great. That man, I saw them live and they were fantastic.
Thanks so much for joining us here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show, the show that helps you with all your automotive needs, whether you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, parts, service, or body shop. We are here to help live today. Classic Kia Carrollton, where you can get a new 2026 Sportage, only $289 a month. You got the big military discount. It's the red, white, and maroon sales event going on right now here at Classic Kia Carrollton. $379 a month for a 2025 Kia Telluride. They've been hard to come by. Jesse Hull, managing partner here at Classic Kia Carrollton, he's got a whole row of them out here ready for delivery for Memorial Weekend. So if you're looking to travel in style and travel the right way, make it a Kia Telluride. Whatever you want to, come on out and see us. We're right here. If you take the Sandy Lake exit and just run up the service road, you'll run right into us. But we're right here just south of 121 and 35 here in Carrollton. And the new K4 is you talking about a great car, a money saver, under $23,000, I think $21,000 starting price for a very well equipped Kia. The place, ClassicKiaCarrollton.com. But let's talk about another great sponsor. We have now picked up Crest Volvo, Crest Infiniti, and Crest Cadillac. Right now, Crest Volvo has over 150 certified pre-owned vehicles. So you want to save the money. You want to get a car that was, the qualifications are so stringent to make sure you're getting a great quality car. That's it. 17 different models, 6 of them plug-ins, electric vehicles or dual electric at Crest Volvo. Right now, you got $7,750 cash allowance on XC90 models. I got to tell you, if you haven't driven a Volvo lately, enjoy it. It's a completely different driving experience than any other car on the road. If you were to get in that car blindfolded, you would not go, this is it's its own entity. There's some cars out there that are their own entity, and Volvo is one. Then you got the Infiniti lineup, the QX50, QX60, the QX80, and the QX80 is totally redesigned 100%. You have the Sensory, the Autograph, and the Lux models. And if you're looking for a big luxury SUV, I know there's some out there that they say they're the whatever crown winners, whatever. You have not driven an Infiniti yet, and that's the new Infiniti QX80. And then over to the Cadillac side, you got the Lyric 2.9%. You have the Mystique all new 2026. And then you have the CT4, CT5, the Cadillac Escalade, which I got a couple of buddies that that's all they're going to drive. And then you got the XT6. So you have sedans and SUVs, both to enjoy at Crest Cadillac.
TX.com.
Yeah, that's CrestCadillacTX.com, CrestInfinity.com, and CrestVolvo.com. And here's the thing: when you go to CrestCadillacTX.com, take a look at, enjoy their Cadillac Premium experience or pickup and delivery. I mean, you talk about going out of the box to make sure that you're taken care of when you're spending that kind of money. The place, CrestCadillacTX.com. All right. Are you going to join us? What are you going to do?
He's strutting around here.
Huh?
He's strutting around here like a peacock.
Oh, what?
Here.
Busy is not in your vocabulary.
Can you grab a chair?
Yeah, grab a chair. We'll grab you a headset and come join us. We got the new general manager here. Jesse is the owner, and he has hired a gentleman to jump in as he is rocking and rolling and doing this, that, and the other. So let me get him hooked up here.
You get in the middle so that people see your beautiful face.
Yeah.
I guess we should warn the women.
Yeah, we don't have a Ronald McDonald outfit, so.
We should warn the women who's about to come on the air with us.
Huh? Yeah, you may have to do. We'll have to send you back.
You guys don't get these kinds that goes around.
I know. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that one
That'll
out.
mess your hair up.
So the sun is peeking through a little bit, and I noticed that Jesse posted, if you're in the market for a Telluride, you got it.
We got it. We got some great inventory.
Pull that mic a little
No,
bit closer
yeah.
to you.
Yeah,
There you go.
How about that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your Telluride inventory is as good as it gets out there.
Missed you.
We have about 170 new cars on the ground right now, and about another 60 or 70 inbound. So yeah, I think we've got a pretty good selection right now.
Yeah, I'm taking a look around, and you and I talked yesterday on the phone, and the first thing I did was I walked in, I saw that blue.
Isn't that cool?
That bad of the bone.
Yeah, it's different.
I would never. I've never been in need to buy an electric vehicle, but that thing's got a lot of cool factors.
It's really cool.
Because I'm a visual guy,
Mhm.
and forget the electric motor. That's a cool looking rig.
The inside of it's really cool too. Suppose I haven't driven one yet, but they say they're super fast.
Yeah, Jesse brought one over to the house, and he goes, "Check this out," and he put it in the driveway, and he took the remote control and drove it to the back of the house. Didn't even get in the car.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I am in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love today's technology.
yeah, I got to play with it for 3 days, and I pulled up next to an RT Hemi, and I looked over and I said, I can blow that car away, and he started laughing. Man, I got that next stoplight. He goes, "What the heck is that?" I said, "It's an electric car." The torque on that thing, on these electric vehicles, is for me, because I've got a need for speed. It's just absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, it'll rock you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's fun about those EVs.
Well, I drove the EV9. That thing, remember that day I drove that? It was shocking.
Yeah, well, we've got some, so we're sold out on those. We've got some 26s coming in. And so I'm anxious for those to come in because I actually think I'm going to take one of those for a drive.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we got to take a quick break. Top of the hour. Don't go away. We got Alan Glover, General Manager, Classic Kia Carrollton, joining us. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Oh, keep talking. We're live on social
still
media.
live.
We don't leave. These wonderful folk that tune in every Saturday morning on our Facebook page, and we're on YouTube now. Do you know that?
Oh, you guys are getting big time now.
We're trying to be.
I like it.
And,
Yeah, we've got 4 different live feeds now. Everybody can see your pretty face.
Yeah, I guess I haven't been on here for a little while.
yeah.
So how proud of Papa are you? Would you have a bucket of awards to leave the school with your kids?
Man, I'm very proud of both of those kids. They've had a good year this year.
Are they graduating, or you still got some going to school still?
Are you kidding?
We're talking about elementary.
Oh, well,
I got one that graduated from 1st to 2nd grade.
Oh.
I got another one going from 5th to 6th grade,
Oh,
which is
I
kind
didn't-
of graduation because you're
Yeah.
leaving lower school and going to middle school.
Right,
so.
I got you.
But and then I have a 28-year-old daughter who just got married a couple weeks ago. So yeah,
So y'all won state
Have you
championship
met
this
him
year, right?
before?
In football,
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jason Witten.
You guys
Yeah.
still got him?
Yeah, he's got his youngest son is I think he's a junior. So
He'll be a senior this year. Next
yeah.
year. They think he's going to head to Tennessee or to the NFL after the kid
Wow.
graduates.
I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Tennessee 'cause that's where he went to school.
Right,
But,
I got you.
Yeah,
well, they just
so-
hired a new coach last year, and you know what? I'll just tell you this: if McCarthy would have been here, which he should have stayed, I wouldn't have been surprised if that following year They'd have thrown Witten right in the mix.
Could have. Well, there's rumors.
Yep.
But no, he's done a great job for Liberty. You know, we got bumped to 6A taps this past year,
Wow.
and we did lose one game. So in 2 years, we've lost one game.
Yeah, your big nemesis was Prestonwood. They're not a nemesis no more.
No, they're out of the
Jason
picture.
Witten got that thing.
They
cooking.
used to, beat everybody. The school that beat us, actually, I think it was a public school up by Arkansas or somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a real big school. And it was only our second game. And we were leading the game all the way through up until the middle of the second half. And, it ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, and then they introduced Jack to KYA flag football. That's a treat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you get every. I coached down there a couple times, and that's a different little setup than being over at Liberty a little bit.
Well, that's why we put him in there. We wanted him to get an opportunity to explore all
exposed to different ways of life,
everything out there, and some of it was pretty interesting. But we enjoyed it. He had fun. He had some really good kids that he played with, and I actually think it was his best season yet since he's been playing. So we were happy. His last games were last Saturday.
There you go.
Corey attempted volleyball, and that didn't go so well. So we got some work to do there.
Yeah, those trying to figure out the sports for the kiddos. We had it pretty simple. My dad said, if you're not playing sports, I'll find something for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're looking for sports. To
we
play.
played. I couldn't stand soccer. I played soccer.
Did it all.
I found every baseball team to play on during the summer. We didn't have flag football then. I mean, I told the coach, hey, do you have summer golf?
Anything.
Let me tell you what, my dad, he'd roll out a list of things for you to do. You wished you were playing. And the thing about it was, if you weren't playing sports, it wasn't like when you saw the to-do list that you could go. No, you had to be signed up.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't see the to-do list till the first day of summer. And the one summer I said, you know what? I got this gorgeous girlfriend. I'm just going to take it easy. My dad sent me off to Winsboro, Texas to work on a hay hauling farm.
Oh, that's tough
Let
work.
me tell you what, he broke me.
Yeah.
I said, Dad, I just started dating her. He goes, yeah, you'll see her in a month or two. And
I've done that. That's some tough work.
I went and hauled hay, coastal, and then the second month we hauled alfalfa.
Was she still your girlfriend when you came back?
Yeah, she cheated on me. She did. I found out later.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good thing you went and worked on the hay.
I was calling her regularly, but then I got home and I found out I had two buddies that took her out. And I was like, it's just not right.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Dad, look what happened. He goes, yeah, but how much money did you make?
Exactly. And how much did you save?
Yeah, I was going to say probably.
And get this, I was 15 years old and I made $186 in 1 week hauling hay because it was based on how many bales. He handed me that money. I was like, I got to the house. My dad was there and he had an envelope to Southwest Bank and Trust opened, put it in here, and took me right to the bank and deposit. I said, could I keep a little bit out? And he goes, no. It's like, wow. You talking about learning to appreciate the dollar? My old man, he taught you real quick.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. My kids aren't there, that's for sure. Jack did start him some business at school where he's selling, I don't know, some kind of little fidgety things.
Huh.
He come the other day and pulls out his billfold and he had $20.
He's gonna be that kid open up his London Fog, got watches, and
he's like, "Look, Dad, I made $20 so far, $1 a piece."
He'll be taking like a puddings to school, and hey, get your pudding right here.
He's the guy that's gonna pull up to the front of the store and open the trunk and have some suits and ties and
exactly,
doing the stereos at the van
and the fake Mont Blancs.
Yeah.
I remember my son, he came home and I go upstairs. He's got all this money in his shoebox and he sees me. He just panics. I'm like, Ty, Chase, come here. I said, where did you get that? And he goes, you promise you won't
1
be
minute
mad?
till we're back.
Never a good question. I
Right.
went, maybe I ought to talk to Mom. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, I'm selling Chinese spinners. And remember back then they used to give the kids little spinners that had ADD and you spin. That's
what Jack's selling.
And so
wow.
he started selling them. And I'm telling you, he had like $300 in his shoebox. And I went, Ty. And next thing you know, I get a call the next day going, could you or your wife come up and said, look, we appreciate the entrepreneurship. But I mean, he's going table to table in the lunchroom.
That's exactly what Jack's been selling.
I was like, Ty. And he goes, but Dad, I'm making a lot of money.
Yeah, you can't really fault him for that at all.
You know what the heck? That's why he's why they are who they are.
That's exactly right.
I have no problem. I was like, boy, I didn't understand what spinners were, but they're back in full swing. And for my son, it worked. I mean, there's a lot of kids sat there and spun that thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, better than medication for a lot of them.
They still use them.
Yep.
He's got a whole bunch of them he's accumulated.
So what's Miss Julie driving?
Are you ready for the show?
Celtos.
Yeah, that's what she asked me about last night.
She wants a tough color, though.
We're going to listen to the whole
214-787-1190. It's the Automotive Ed Radio Show today, live. Classic Kia Carrollton, the new general manager, Alan Glover. You know what they always say when I left from one auto group to another, so what's the tradition? I said it's product of people. The way we do business is the same. You got to meet the customer's need, know your product, and take care of business. It's really different faces with the same basic principles.
Absolutely.
You don't change your stripes just because you're coming from one brand to another.
Just got to relearn the product.
So today, Classic Kia Carrollton, not only do you have great leases, you're loaded up right now on the Kia Telluride, but I got to tell you, one of the products out here, my wife's even talking about it, is your Kia Sportage.
Aren't those good looking?
Yeah, totally redesigned.
Mm-hmm. Sorrentos too.
Yeah, they if they took the badging off of it, you wouldn't go, that's a Kia Sportage.
No, you wouldn't. Actually, I think a lot of our product right now will cause you to do a second look if you're like, what is that? You know, their lineup now is just all fresh and technology's great, and they got some fun cars.
Yeah, when you take a look at the top 5 producers right now, your Kia, Hyundai, same company, Kia Motor Company, are in the top 5. I mean, their inventory is doing really, really well. And people always, you know, kind of hang on the past. I remember the Hyundai Scoop, and I'm trying to think what the little Kia was, Spectrum. And I'm going to time out a second.
Well, those are old.
Yeah. Kia came in like a lion, out like a lamb. Hyundai never left, and Kia came back. But when you look what their platform teams are doing, and to think, if you think about this, you're putting a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on it. You got to have a product that's going to last.
Absolutely. I mean, that's pretty much saying guaranteeing your car is going to be protected. And even if you buy the car pre-owned, you know, which we sell a lot of CPOs here, certified pre-owned vehicles. And by doing that, it'll extend that warranty, you know, back out, because once the car is a used car, even then the warranty still goes to a 5-year, 60,000. So new or used, you get great warranty on the car.
Yeah, and your CPOs, that is as stringent as it gets in order for you to put that title on that car to put it on the lot.
Yep, they go through a very extensive checkout. You know, we have to fill out obviously all kinds of paperwork and stuff for the certification. And, you know, it's like buying a new used car, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we're sitting on over 40 CPOs right now. So we got a great selection out there.
So,
well, a lot of awards are being won for Kia, too,
Mm-hmm.
for the type of vehicles that are out there.
Yeah, this store has won the President's Award the last couple of years, which is a tough award to win. And, you know, they went through and did a remodel a few years ago, and Jesse's done a great job with this store. So I'm super excited to be
Isn't it
here.
amazing in the car business how things always come to fruition that, you know, I met Jesse, and then over at when Mr. Eagle used to own the dealership,
Mm-hmm.
and then I introduced him to you, and you guys worked together, and then everybody parted their ways, and then he wound up coming to Classic, and then boom, here you are. This, you know, one thing you learn real quick in the car business: never burn bridges.
Nope, because you
And
could be working for somebody, and then they're working for you. You
Yeah.
never know that's going to work.
and when you get into these kind of position, integrity matters.
Absolutely. Well, it's like I told the guys the other day in a meeting. I said the one thing you have to go off of in this business is your integrity, and once you lose that, you might as well go find a new profession.
Yep.
So,
I hear all the time, you know, are you car guys? I said, that is so far from the truth, you know, that things have changed so much. And everybody said the internet, but here's the thing, forget the internet. It still comes down to me the 3 Ps in business: the people, the process, and the product.
absolutely.
If you got the right people taking you through right process. There's a lot of products that are being sold that consumers would have never looked at or only kind of thinking about, or let's just go check it out. But with the right people in the process, it's a game changer.
Absolutely. You know, and just in process and people will actually sometimes buy a different product, even though because they're comfortable with who they're working with and where they're at. So, yeah, I believe very strongly in that. And you got to have a good process. And I tell these guys, you know, my favorite word of the day is always transparency. You know, you have to be transparent. You know, if not, then people don't trust you.
Yeah, for me, I always everybody said, well, you know, they've been on the internet, this, that, and the other. The internet, a lot of people. You know, it's amazing. People look at the internet more for location and look at a product line than anything else. They don't get into detail of the horsepower and the safety issues and the MPGs. And when you have salespeople that, what I call a professional salesperson, that's a person that lives, eats, breathes their product, and then they can identify with the consumer. That's the game changer. People are going, you know, I never would have bought this product, but I bumped into Alan Glover over Classic. I got to tell you what blew me away, what they knew that I didn't know, and that's the reason I bought it.
Well, that, you know, and it's a lot of times people aren't familiar with the product or some of the different lineups that you have, and then, you know, because they know somebody, then they're like, wow, I had no idea they made this car, or, you know, it was like this. So yeah, you know, you just gotta take care of people.
And here's the thing, I want everybody to know, you don't have to have perfect credit to buy a car. I'm getting more emails going, what's that threshold? What does it take to buy a car? Well, here's the deal. Don't run around from dealer to dealer to dealer trying to get financed. Find a product that you like. Go to the dealership, stick with one, and let your guys go to work to get them financed. The deal is they're not here to turn your way. They're here to find reasons to get you in a car, to turn over and find the lender that's going to help you out.
Yeah, we got tons of banks. So, I mean, you've got banks for all different scenarios, and you know, the economy's tough out there right now. So a lot of people have been struggling, you know, and so, you know, you don't have to.
And it doesn't mean 18%.
No.
People think, well, I got some glitches, I'm going to pay 18%. That is so far from the truth, because your job time, your residency, and your debt to ratio with hiccups on the back end can play a big role on getting you in a good car with a good rate.
Yep. And, you know, a lot of times people, you know, like, for instance, medical bills, you know, that's no longer, they can't put that on your credit anymore.
Right.
And so that, you know, that used to be something that affected people a lot. So, you know, there's a story behind everything. So, and there's always a bank for a different situation. So normally the only thing that really prevents us from being able to get somebody approved, and usually you can still get approval, is if somebody just owes way too much money on their trade.
Right.
And you just can't get that done. And then that's something, it doesn't matter what your credit's like, you know, so. And that's something that we've experienced a little bit, you know, from COVID, but it's getting better.
Yeah, it is. And the thing about it is that if you have glitches or there's a hiccup left or right, whatever the case may be, whatever cash you can bring to the table, you know, and I learned this when, you know, I first started, you know, cash is king, that if there is some hiccups or whatever, and the bank looks at it and you got good book to value, they go, well, hang on a second. You know, Kurt had these hiccups and he's in the low sixes, but he's bringing the TT&L and some cash down. Even if we had to go get it, the paper looks really, really good. We'll take that.
Yeah,
deal.
absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's like anything, you know, it's just got to make sense.
Right.
It's got to make sense. That's all it is to it.
Bo, what are you doing over there?
Trying to make sense.
You're just being awfully quiet, just sitting over there.
Well, you guys y'all rocking and rolling over there. I don't want to interrupt.
Well, I got to tell you, one of the great products out there, moms and dad, if you're looking for that price point for the kiddos that are graduating, heading off to college, you want to put them in a good quality car, your new K4, I got to tell you what, fully equipped for $21,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then you can go up from there is unbelievable. We took a look, Jesse and I jumped in one of the cars and we took it down the highway, went down to the little Velvet Taco. Have you eaten a Velvet Taco yet?
No, where's that?
Great groceries. There's several of them. There's one in Grapevine, one down the road. I was blown away at 70 miles an hour. You're going, well, what does a $21,000 car? Come out and experience it. Because we're
our best selling car
70 now. And that's a nice car for $21,000.
Great car for the money. When I first was out looking at them, I looked at the MSRPs on those. I was like, wow, that's a good price on that car.
It is.
Well, anything brand new around that price is going to be very expensive for this kid.
Well, you probably, what is the average price new car now? About 39, 40 grand?
Yeah, well, average retail that was going out the door last month was $46,288.
Yeah.
And so when you look, and then they say, gee, what are you getting for 21 grand? You're going to be blown away. But here again, remember, that at 21 grand, they still put a 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty
Right.
on it. There's a reason for that, and that they can do it for 21 grand, which is, pretty appeasing to a lot of moms and dads when, the cost of living when the kiddo heads out,
Oh,
what your
it's high.
expenses may be. It's a good opportunity. So you got $379 a month on the Kia Telluride, a 24-month lease. You got $289 a month on the Kia Sorento. Here's another product that doesn't look anything like it used to. The EV6, which the one sitting there on the showroom floor, up to $7,500 tax credit that
Yep.
you get on the vehicle, and there's qualifications on it now. It used to be everybody got it. It's not that way anymore. But if you qualify, figure $7,500 off in tax.
What is the
credit on vehicle.
qualification?
Income.
Oh, okay. That's been,
So
I'd probably qualify.
that's right. And then you've got get this full synthetic oil change. The average in the marketplace right now is $89.95 today and Monday, $49.95.
So we put some specials out there for Memorial Day. We also, for our veterans, we have a $500 rebate.
Oh, cool.
And so we're going to double that, and we'll absorb the other $500 and give a $1,000 rebate.
I'm going to join the military today so I can get that $1,000 rebate.
Get this, zero down, $349 a month on a K4. Zero down.
You got
Don't
one.
mind.
That is a one-time deal right there. So
What is that again?
Get this, a Kia K4, no money down, zero, $349 a month, sign and drive,
Yeah.
classic Kia right now.
you got one to go there. So that's yeah,
How do you like me now?
I
Yeah.
like it.
that's our Memorial Day special. And you can come out today and tomorrow and on Monday, and we are barbecuing.
How about that?
Can I come on Monday?
Yeah, you can come by
Does
right
that
now.
deal
Grill's
last
fired
on
up.
Memorial Day?
Goes through Monday.
There we go. Alan Glover, General Manager. Thanks, brother. We
Good to see
appreciate
you guys.
you.
Appreciate it.
We're going
Good
to
to
keep
see
rolling.
you again.
I'll be here all day.
We got
Come
a
on, give me a
couple
hug.
listeners here. Come join us. We're going to be here the noon hour. Alan's going to be here at about 8 o'clock tonight, helping maybe 9, depending on how busy they are.
Good to
It's
see
the
you,
Automotive
brother.
Ed Radio Show. Quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
All right. What's that? Okay. Here, take that. Move that out of the way. Yeah, we're on a short break, kind of rearranging the furniture here from having Alan Glover with us. Get everything rebooted here, reset up. Where are you going?
Car guy. Thanks everybody on Facebook for hanging out and joining us today. I had checked some messages here, and seeing what's happening in the world out there. Well, we got a lot of people tuning in right now and wanting to know about credit. And I would just tell you, you'll be real surprised what your credit score will get you, and it's not 18%. I saw a credit score the other day that was a 580, whatever, 582, 583, and they got a fantastic rate and drove a brand new vehicle home. And there was a reason why their score was that way, and there was a situation, I'm not going to get into it, but everything was documented, and they took that information to the lender, and the lender goes, we'll take that deal, and here's the rate. I think they wound up with like a 5.9% interest rate. So there are deals out there. If you have a story on why things happen to your credit, whatever the case may be, just be able to back it up. So if the lender goes, well, we want proof of this, or this, just be able to back it up. There's some people that, say, well, this happened, that happened. They said, okay, bring us documentation or give us this. And you don't have it, then it's just kind of hearsay. And the whoever the lender is, they like to see, okay, well, hang on a second. These people have good job time. They have good residency. They're making an effort. There was a bad situation that happened in life. There was a hiccup in life, but here's where they are. We want that car deal. And so we want to make sure that you understand that bad things happen to good people. We get it. We had some people that came in with another score under 600 and they walked out at 1.9%. And they were like, they couldn't believe it. And I remember that mom coming up and hugging me, and she was in tears. The dad was just like shaking his head. And I said, look, y'all are good people. They were laid off. They still managed to pay their bills. There were some slow pays on. They wound up going back to the same companies they had been at for years. And now they're back on track with a brand new vehicle and a fantastic interest rate. So don't think that it has to be perfect credit, that you got to be, everybody's got to be over 700. That's just not the case, because there's ways to do it.
Should call Jason, right?
Yeah. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Hope everybody has a great Memorial Day. I want to thank all of our military. We love our military.
Yes, we do.
Some people forget what Memorial Day. They think it's
Yellow.
Hey, we're on a break still, but we're getting you dialed in. You hear us okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. When we come back,
that's the loudest hello I've ever
well,
heard.
I was trying to. Well, that was my fault. That wasn't Jason's fault. You can talk to us. We're still we're on live feed with this.
Okay.
So, how's everything going out there?
Let me tell you how cool Jason is.
Good. It is busy. Oh my gosh, it's busy.
That's great.
I walked into Jason's office. He goes, "Hey, I got this here for you." I said, "Well, I don't need it anymore." And he goes, "Great, I'm gonna make you a wallet." First thing. That's my guy.
There you go. Well, he can make anything. So, next thing he's going to be trying to do is make his own car.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming.
It's called the Lowing. Wouldn't that be a
That's
great
right.
name for a car?
Thanks for joining us here on the Automotive Ed Radio Show, the show that helps you with all your automotive needs, whether you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, parts, service, or body shop. Back with us, we had to cut him off just a little bit too quick. Our buddy Jason Long, General Sales Manager, El Dorado Chevrolet, 380 and 75, where pressure makes diamonds, not happy customers, has been his mantra for the, can you believe that we've been together going on 10 years now?
I know it. 10 years.
What a relationship.
Yeah, I can't believe I've been here for 6.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a plus or minus with Bo, but Jason, it is who it is. He is who he is. That stray cat that you keep putting milk out on the porch for, and then, he keeps coming by. Let's talk about what's going on out at your dealership today. Let's talk about some of the pricing and specials and discounts you have for the listeners today.
Yeah, absolutely. So currently right now we've got $13,500 off of 2025 Crew Cab Silverados. Not to mention you got 0% available. If you don't need a full-size truck, how about a mid-size truck? 2025 Colorado's near and dear to my heart, $5,000 off. And if you're needing something a little more heavy-duty to haul around your heavy equipment, we've got $6,000 off of our heavy-duty models right now. And don't forget, we still have some very affordable vehicles with the Chevrolet Trax still starting under $22,000. It's hard to find a new car nowadays for under $22,000, and that is a beautiful car for that price. That's what my daughter drives back and forth. And man, I've put plenty of miles on her vehicle driving from Albuquerque to here, and what a great vehicle! What an absolutely great vehicle.
Yeah, when you look at that Chevy Trax, you back up a few years ago, not much, eye appeal to that. But, boy, they totally redesigned that, remodeled interior, exterior, and they're building another great quality product under $22,000.
Yep.
That's the thing.
And, of course,
when you look at that price point, you go, what kind of bucket of bolts am I getting for $22,000? Well, go to El Dorado Chevrolet and check out that new Chevy Trax, and you'll see. And then you got all the big bad boys out there for sale as well.
Yep, absolutely. And don't forget, we still have to honor our veterans and active military. We still have active duty military discounts that are going on. Right now, we've got $1,250 additional discount for all of our military personnel out there. So a lot of great programs going on to honor those folks this weekend. But yes,
you received another award this year.
We did 9 years in a row. 9 years in a row. And we talk about it. It sounds small. It's not that small. 9 years in a row, Chevy Dealer of the Year. That's a very select few dealers out of 3,600 Chevrolet dealers nationwide. they only pick a handful. And, you know, we managed to do that now 9 years in a row. And it's not just about selling cars. It's also about customer satisfaction. And so that's a big part of it. You know, we're not just here to sell a car. We're also here to establish some relationships, because it doesn't just stop at selling the car. You know, people need service. People have other needs that go beyond just a new vehicle. And we're here for that too.
Yeah, they can even go there and get a haircut. So that might have been part of it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hey, Jason, I've
Yeah,
been
we
getting a
do have
lot
a
of
barbershop.
I've been getting a lot of emails and texts this week about people that are on the bubble because of their credit. And I want you to talk a little bit, because you're looking at credit apps every day. You have a guy that your director that sits right behind the sales office. And we were talking to Alan a moment ago, but if you have credit issues, credit hiccups, it doesn't mean that you automatically get 18% or you can't buy a new car, whatever the case may be. Kind of go over that a little bit on your mindset and philosophy at the dealership when someone comes in and go, hey, Jason, I've had some credit issues, but I've got to have a car.
Exactly. And right now what we're seeing is I'm seeing some aggression with the banks right now. And of course it has to do with relationships too. Half of what we do is find the right vehicle for the other customer, for the customer. The other half, what we do is we work with banks. And we've got a large buying advantage when it comes to a lot of these banks that allow us to maneuver to help customers out. And, you know, score is one small portion when it comes to credit and interest rates. You know, there's length, there's strength, there's other things that we talk to banks about that help customer get the vehicle in the budget that they need it to be in. And so it's not just about the car. You know, we also work with banks and beat them up a little bit just to make things happen for customers.
Well, yeah, the bank's got to be pushed too. The banks do have a portfolio and guidelines, but you submit it, you get an electronic response. But then when it comes down to it, you have guys, your job is to deliver automobiles at the best possible rate with the best position to put a consumer in, because you and I have talked about it. You know, when I was selling, you made as much money as you could front and back end. You shoved them out the door. And if you saw them, great. If not, you didn't care. You were all excited about the commission. You have a different mindset about delivering and selling people automobiles. Talk about it.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, it's not about guesswork when it comes to doing a lot of this finance. It's about our best work. And that's why we try to push these people to help everything out. And you know, sometimes people get stuck with all hung up on credit, and we're not that here. That's one of the things. If you're at a dealership and the first thing they ask you to do is pull your credit, you probably need to slow down a little bit and find someplace else. You know, go find a vehicle first. You know, we believe that people work hard for their money despite any of their credit situations, and they deserve to be able to spend that the way they want to, and that's what we're here to help out with.
Well, you've always told me you're not about selling one, you're about selling what?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not about just selling you one car. We're about selling you, it's generational sales. You know, we just don't want to sell you a car. We want you to find a place where you're proud to send your friends, family, generational sales, you know. That's what we're kind of all about, because we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We're gonna be here. We plan to be here for you, for you and your family.
You know, I had a group of people, and there was several hundred in the room, and I had them all stand up. And I said, hey, if you remember your salesperson, remain standing. And there was hundreds in there. 2 remained standing. I said, that's not good. I said, oh, y'all remember your interest rate, remain standing. Everybody sat down. And everybody remember your payment, stand up. Well, everybody knows who their payment was. And I said, well, everybody remain standing if you would refer that dealership to someone that needs to know. And about a third stood up, and I meant, we got to fix that. We have to give them that experience, which you want to let them know that they're going to be one of those people standing to go to Eldorado Chevrolet.
Yeah, and it's amazing. You know, we have some well-known names in the community that work here that have been here for a very long time. I think my average tenure here now is about 8 years. That's on average. I've got people that have been here for 20 years. I've got people who've been here longer, and we have you know, I got some celebrities in the house, as they say, for people to come see. So, but yeah, you know, we're not going away. We're not going away. We plan on being here for everybody for a long time. And we just want you to find a good place to go.
I want to let all the businesses know we got a lot of people online watching this. You now are set up to take care of all the commercial needs.
Oh, yes, and absolutely. We are a medium-duty dealer, so if you're needing those 5500s, 6500s, all your commercial needs, flatbeds, dump beds, box trucks, box vans, low cab forward. We have it all here at Eldorado Chevrolet. You wouldn't believe the inventory we got over there. It's over 129 different medium duty vehicles that are sitting over there in every configuration that you need, whether you're a landscaper, mover, or moving earth. It's all out there. Come by, check us out. We got opened up that building just a few months ago, and it's beautiful.
Jason Loring, General Sales Manager, Eldorado Chevrolet, where pressure makes diamonds, not happy customers. We love you guys. We appreciate what you do for the community, what you do for the police, active service, retired service. You do it all, and that's why you are 9-time Chevy Dealer of the Year. Over 13,500 off of Chevy Silverados. You can't go wrong, and a whole lot more. Go to EldoradoChevy.com. That's EldoradoChevy.com. And get this, we'll be there live next weekend with Jason Long, so you get to hear more about the way they do business. Jason, have a big Saturday. We'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely.
See you, Jason.
Thank you, brother.
All right, bye, Bo.
Bye.
Remember, for all your automotive needs, go to theautomotiveedge.com. That's theautomotiveedge.com. And I started getting loaded up with emails, and I promise you, just as soon as I get off air, I pack up, I jump in the truck, and then we start answering emails. We have to give them that experience with you to make sure that you know where to go, who to see, and what to do. We have several people already here at Classic Kia Carrollton out test driving. One of them was a radio listener from 2008. I'm going, man, how humbling is that she goes, I'm going where Kurt recommends that I go. That? Nothing more humbling to hear words like that.
Pete Thompson says, sounding great, Kurt.
Oh, now you talk about a guy that does radio.
Oh, okay.
Pete Thompson, who got me started in radio.
Yeah.
We need to get him to call in. I mean, Pete Thompson, when he gets on there, he is the dominating force on radio.
We'll have to call him.
Yeah, we need to. 214-787-1190. Let's take a quick break. Don't go away, because we'll be right back. Yeah, Pete Thompson came to me and told me I needed a radio show.
Oh, he's the guy that did that, because I've heard the story.
And I had a 30-minute show called the Texas Car Clinic, which Pete Thompson and Brian McFarland put together.
Sweet.
And I was so nervous that I made Pete come in and do the show with me. I got started doing some shows with Scott Wilder, who we surprised my wife on our 20-year anniversary on air. And Scott flew in to be part of the 20-year celebration. But Pete Thompson did a show called, the Consumer Magazine. And I got to tell you what, Pete Thompson is as good as it gets on radio.
He says he's blushing now.
I'm telling you what, he's the man. He is a standard in hosting a consumer show.
Well, there you go.
He is. There's Pete would watch you so intently. He did his research before you got there, and if your lips weren't moving, Pete's were, and you felt so comfortable being in the studio with him. He is the standard in which I hope to be as I continue my career in radio. Love the guy.
So do I.
He's the best. He's the best. And I was blessed to meet his son and got to know him, and good for Pete.
Well, thanks for tuning in and joining us. We'll get you a consumer team, it was called.
Yep.
Consumer team.
Well, my brother does not like the music being played, and we turned in all disco. So I'm going to have to get with Maddie and figure out where some of this came from. But
well, they're not hearing it. They're hearing it on the radio.
Huh.
Not here.
Well,
we can't play it here. They can't hear it anyways. For some reason, it's weird.
Yeah, I'd love to have Pete call in. That'd make my day.
You have his number?
Or Pete, if you want to post your number, we'd love to get you on with us this morning.
Yeah, we'll call you.
If you're not busy, we'd like to talk to you. Just type in your number. Bo will call you up and
get you on air with us.
Yeah. I remember Scott was my producer, and I had a stack of information. I had enough for like 8 shows, and I just went silent. Pete took over and
helped you out.
And then Pete, I don't know if he remembers this, my wife sent flowers for my first show, and Pete read the card, and I'm crying.
Oh, wow.
I can't even talk.
So, well,
see, way to go, Pete.
Well, when I had my first show, I had a whole bunch of people with me because I figured that was what was going to happen. I had Judge Monk, Judge Woodard, Purple Haze was on the show. I knew that when I started, I had a whole bunch of data, and that data lasted about one segment.
You put it up there?
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Pete. So it's gonna come from a number you probably don't recognize. It's my personal number.
Pete
so.
used to do the chocolate diet, and he had this talking gorilla in his office. Funniest thing I ever seen in my
Talking
life.
gorilla. All right, see what we got.
He's the best. I owe all this to him and Brian McFarland. Without them, I wouldn't have had a radio show. So,
all right, here we go. See if we can.
Pete heard or saw something and said, "Let's do it."
Hello, Pete. This is Bo Carver, Big Will's Bo Carver here with Kurt.
Hey,
Chase.
how you doing?
1 minute till we're back.
We're good. We're good. We're on a break from radio, but you're live on our social media sites, Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. So just warning you about that in case something might slip out.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll keep it clean.
I always try to do that warning because I don't have the with the dump button. So.
I spent 21 years in Christian radio. I know how not to talk dirty on the air.
Oh, that's good because I don't have.
It took me a while on Kurt, but I'm still pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot. We need a lot of dump buttons for him for sure. But
guy's a dangerous weapon.
Yeah, we'll be back on the radio here in about 30 seconds. So just hang with us, okay?
Right.
And
I'd love to.
We'll come back with you when we get back rolling, okay?
Yeah, I was. I got to talk to Scott Wilder, and I still talk to Brian. I still talk to Dennis Rounsley, who was a producer for a long time.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So many of the guys. I still remember Easy and all the great folks back there. I talked to Amy Markham the other day, and
KLTY is no longer. I was there for the last day of that, Kurt. That was wild.
Yeah, I heard you on the radio talking. Wow, there's a lot of tears and loves and hugs going on there.
Man, it was pretty intense. Yeah.
Hey, it's the Automotive Ed Radio Show. Thanks for joining us. We are here today live, Classic Kia Carrollton. And if you're in the market for a Kia from 0 APR and only $349 a month, payments under $300, a full lineup of the Kia Telluride, the all-new, totally redesigned Kia Sportage. The EV6 is all the new colors and everything are out here on the lot. And then it comes down to people. So if it's a Kia, the place, Classic Kia Carrollton, right here, 121 and 35. Go to ClassicKiaCarrollton.com. That's ClassicKiaCarrollton.com. For all the specials, come out and meet the new general manager, Alan Glover, and let him share the Classic experience. Joining me, one of my all-time favorite radio guys, Pete Thompson. This is so cool to have Pete on the show. Now I'm nervous. I never get nervous talking on radio, but when you get a guy of Pete's caliber on, man, it just takes things to a new level. How are you, brother?
I don't remember you getting nervous, though, Kurt. I mean, and you were talking about your first show and how you needed me. The thing I remember about you in the early days is I think you missed. You have great enthusiasm, but you almost missed your first show because, like a knucklehead, you went up to Oklahoma and entered some cage fighting contest and got your butt kicked.
Yes, he did.
And you came in looking like five guys beat on you.
Yeah, and he's paying the.
That's when Brian and I knew you were certified insane.
Yeah, he's paying the price for it now too.
Did you know him back then, Bo? When he did?
Well, no, they've had to put 4 titanium screws in my jaw. Recently, had another surgery to fix my jaw, and I tell people, I told my boys, I've got 2 words for you, and they said, "What?" And I went, "Walk away."
Yeah, sure. That was nuts. Well, anyway, I'm glad you survived that to have a really amazing career in radio. And I do a consumer show on another station every week, and we talk. We get into some car stuff, but not at the level and at the at the quality that you guys do. But this is such an important purchase for people. It's really pretty amazing to see a show like this survive and thrive and be a resource to people trying to acquire transportation. Because talk about a transaction where you can get really left face down bleeding in the sand. Buying a car, is one of them.
Yeah, well, I remember when I started there, it was just a little 30-minute clip called the Texas Car Clinic. And then all the different churches started calling. Next thing you know, we're doing seminars with 200-300 people at Irving Bible Church, and we're traveling all over. And we grew into and thinking that November was 20 years on air since I started over at Salem with you guys, is absolutely incredible. You know, my grandfather always told me enjoy life because it goes by so quick. And when I look back at the day that I met you and I walked in and we got Scott Wilder to endorse Manufacturers Auto Leasing.
Yeah.
With Ray Staffen, and then Scott goes, I think you need a show. And then you call me in your office. And I remember coming in there and your office was full of the chocolate diet. You had the talking gorilla and
Hey, that's Abe. Abe's still in my office, man. I had to change his batteries though. 'Cause he went silent for a couple of years. He's resurrected now. He's talking again.
I hear you. So what did you see the big change? Did you see much change really in talk radio over the many years that, I mean, you've been doing this for, 30, 40, whatever the time is, but do you really see that big of change or anything that was a wow factor to you when it comes to talk radio?
Well, the digital age has changed radio, no doubt. And, so we're having to do things like you're doing. I didn't hear you on a terrestrial radio signal. I was scrolling across my Facebook feed and saw you guys out there in Carrollton. So there's that. But, radio still gets to, I'm not sure what the current stat is, like 92% of people every week listen on a terrestrial radio. And somebody who's 25 or 30 may not know how to operate a radio, but there's still a bunch of us that do. And they're staying in the cars, and it's still a very effective medium to get to people, especially right before they make a purchase. It's the point of purchase medium. It's the last thing they hear before they make a consumer decision.
Yeah, and your big thing, and since I've known you when you had Consumer Magazine on back on when you were with Salem as a general manager, you've always been that guy introducing good people with good products to help the consumers as long as I've known you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and in radio, I was the general manager at Salem for 12 years, and we don't, as long as you're not setting off atomic bombs and wanted for a crime, you're going to get on the air pretty much. There's not a high bar. You got to have a tax ID number. You got to be a business. But the thing I realized, Kurt, and we talked about this, there's a wide range of quality in businesses on the air, and so I wanted to do a show kind of like what you're doing, where you pick the best of the best and present them to your audience as pre-screened. And we've had great success with it, and consumers have really been blessed by having to maybe talk to less people before they make a consumer decision. So I love it, and it's the same concept I believe you're doing on the Automotive Edge.
Yeah, we help people, so in turn they can help others. They can't pay me a dime. We tell people, if we save you money, pay it forward. If we save you time, go volunteer. The only things that you can give me, and it's been this way for 21 years, is a handshake, hug, or a prayer, and I'll take all three. I don't take a dime for any of the services. And this week I was at 16 different dealerships, and we helped over 20 people buy cars. One family, we saved $12,000 on the purchase. And she goes, my gosh, we got to give you something. I said, a handshake, hug, or a prayer. She goes, no. You saved us one. Hang on a second here. Go pay it forward to somebody that's in need. She goes, how do you make a living? I said, well, God has blessed me with 14 great sponsors. I'm in the auto industry, but I can't take a dime from you. If you want to go buy school supplies for our teachers. But you know what? I learned all that to be a servant when I started at, the Word 21 years ago, that, there's so much more to do than take. And when you're doing, everything seems to fall in place. And I attribute that to, the people I surrounded myself with. So go ahead and let everybody know where your show is and what time and what you do, Pete.
Yeah, it's Consumer Team. We've been on KRLD for 14 years. We're in our 15th year. And every week we bring you the latest consumer news, the good deals, the bad deals, the recalls, rip-offs. And we're on the air from Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m., 1080 KRLD, KRLD.com, and love to have your listeners tune in. And at some point, I need some. I do some very basic car segments on the air, but I really need somebody like Automotive Edge to help our listeners. So maybe we could talk about that at some point, Kurt. I'd love to see you guys have a presence somehow on our show. But thanks for the plug, and we'll be on the air tonight, 6 to 8 p.m. Consumer Team. 1080 KRLD. Tune it in.
Well, you're the standard that I'll never attain, but I've always told Brian, I said, man, if there's a gifted man that's ever been on radio, it's Pete Thompson. When I used to sit on Pete's show or Pete would come in on mine, it's like when Roger Staubach walks in the room, you're going, holy cow.
Wow.
I mean,
well,
you're as good as it gets, and I appreciate what you do for listeners and the community, and love to have you back on anytime.
And guess
well,
what?
thank you. Go ahead, Bo.
He also hires the handicap is the reason why I'm here.
Well,
so he does.
You guys are kind to have me on your program today, and I'll be listening more. I really appreciate what you're doing, and you guys have a great weekend. And everybody, don't forget to take a moment this weekend and remember those that paid the ultimate price for our freedom here in America. A lot of times Memorial Day gets kind of lost because it's the great kickoff of summer, but we got a lot to be thankful for, and we got to think about those people as men and women that lost everything so we can live in freedom here in the USA.
No doubt.
That's right. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Pete
All right,
Thompson.
blessings to you. We'll talk soon. We'll see you.
Take care.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
The great Pete Thompson taught me
What
so
a
much
voice.
about radio. Yeah,
I think you're in second place now.
I am. I just got bumped.
Oh,
But you know what? That's okay. I'll take that bump.
well,
What
what a great statement episode that was, or segment with him. He's fantastic, and y'all check him out. That calls a consumer team. He's on from 6 to 8. You said that's on Saturdays.
Yep, 6 to 8. Just go to consumerteam.com and check him out because he's always giving you good information. He's got a company out there that he endorses, and I see all their trucks in my neighborhood all the time.
Oh, there you go.
And it's legit because Pete stands behind what he talks about. What'd you say? 1 minute? Okay, great. We're going to take a quick break. We got one more segment left, and I want to hit a few of the questions from you, the consumer, to make sure that you know where to go, who to see, what to do, and kind of pull back a little bit of curtains on some misnomers and some great questions from you. Don't go away. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Dwayne Harris. He says,
Hello, Dwayne.
Good morning to both of us.
Dwayne is he was our neighbor down the street on Wood Oak.
Dwayne, I've met him a couple times, and
Great
what
guy.
a super human being right there.
He's one of my brother Bobby's favorite, but I think he's a favorite of everybody's. To know Dwayne is to love Dwayne.
And he knows how to work.
Oh, that man had 2 jobs his entire life.
I think he still does. Yeah.
He works at Tom Thumb, and he works over
car
at
dealership.
Freeman
Buick.
Buick GMC.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
He doesn't miss a beat, does he?
when he's not there, he is stocking groceries at Tom Thumb.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about old school work ethic.
Yeah, definitely.
And he'll never retire. You know, I remember when I was stocking groceries, I used to have I'd come home, my hands were purple because you had that stamp and you rotated and you just hit the top of the cans or boxes and you just stamped it. And now it's all.
I never was a stocker. I was always a bag guy. And boy, I made a boatload of money back in the day doing that. I was at I can't even remember the name of the.
Back then, if you were a stalker, you made good money.
Yeah,
that was
I know.
where the money. It wasn't.
No, I know.
You know, I was a sacker. I used to make a lot of money in tips and everything, but boy, if you could move to stocking, because you had to get there after the store closed.
I remember my brother doing that, and they worked nights to restock the store, and he made really good money.
Yeah.
And I always just was the bad guy, but I had it down to a science. You know, it was paper back then, no plastic. So you had to, really do it right. And I had my regular people, they would say, hey, I want him to sack my groceries and to carry them out for me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the way it used to be.
They had a competition one time of sacking groceries.
Yeah.
And I came in third. I got it to where I could look down and throw those cans in my
Without
hand.
even looking.
And you had to know how many canned goods were good in the bag. You can only put so many. And then you put the lighter ones.
Yeah.
And then if they wanted double bag, right in the middle of the sacking, you go double bag. You'd have to put another brown bag in it.
And then it kept cold with cold.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't mix and match all the stuff around. And I got really, really good. And so same thing. It's so funny you said that. I remember some of the people would go, I want Kurt to sack my groceries, and I couldn't sack fast enough. And then if it was raining, I'd take one out and I'd come back and man, I made good tips.
Yeah, I
Man,
did
if you
too.
got 50 cents, man, you're high cotton.
Oh yeah, well they gave you $1. You were like, wow, what a day! And I got quite a few of those along the way, and 50 cents was a really good. A lot of quarters.
Yeah.
Back in the day, back then.
Oh yeah.
But man, if you got $1, that's almost like $10, $15 tip today.
Oh yeah. Yep. I had
Oh.
some that they lived on Wood Oak and always gave me a nice tip. And my dad used to take all my tips and make me put in the bank. So there was an oak tree kind of up on the hill.
Right.
And one day I went there and I
1 minute till we're back.
underneath the branch,
Thank you.
I kind of dug it out and I got some rocks and kind of put around it. So I wadded up my money and I put it in this little thing and I put it up underneath them rocks where no one saw it. And my dad one day he goes, "Sit down."
Oh, he found it.
No.
Oh.
He goes,
Or
"What's
short
going
of your
on?"
money.
He thought I had a bad attitude at work because my tips went down.
He knew something was up, right? Kind of
30
like
seconds till we're back.
you're being a little fraudulent with your money. huh?
Either you're not working hard or you're doing something else with the money. I didn't my pilot. You know what I mean?
after you visited the tree. I don't remember that. I don't remember what I did with my money. I probably spent it. I probably didn't even tell my parents what I really made. They didn't seem to really be that, overseeing of that. But
Well, my stupid brothers, I saved enough money to take them all to Dairy Queen. And then they tell my dad, "What y'all do for lunch?" "Oh, Kurt bought us all lunch at Dairy Queen."
well, I was going steady with the girl at the time, so most of that probably went with her. It's typical when it comes to that stuff. For
Thanks
sure.
so much for joining us. We're going to get things wrapped up here real quick. We're here at Classic Kia Carrollton, and I want to thank Jesse Hull for having us out. New general manager Alan Glover, $349 a month on a brand new Kia K4, no money down. Obviously, you put more money down, payment goes down. $429 on a Kia Sportage, 0 down. $289 a month on a 2026 Kia Sportage for 24 months. So there's a lot of programs going on right now, and for one of the top selling products out here, the Kia Telluride, he's got a full lineup of them. So today, Memorial Day weekend, and Pete Thompson, thanks so much for joining us today. Made a great point. It's all about the military. Without the soldiers that have gone to war for us, the ones
this
that are
is
past and
yeah.
the ones that are present, the ones that are still here and retired, without them, we wouldn't be having the barbecue and the pool parties and all the other things that go on. And so when you see that military person, thank them. If you're in the airport, there's a bunch of them. Thank them. You see the guys walk around with the Vietnam or the veteran hats, thank them. There's something that we need to be doing on a daily basis and really appreciate and respecting what they did for us. All right, let's knock a couple things out. It says, can I have my son on the car note as to get him credit while he is off to school? 100%. If your kid's 18 or older, put them on the note. They'll be on the note. Secondary, you'll be primary to get them started with their credit. No doubt about it. Co-signing is a good thing if you got that good kiddo. Are odometers still rolled back? Yes. Now, let me clarify something. The question that came in, they said they've been on Carfax and noticed that the mile was changed. Here's the thing. Sometimes we call it fat finger input. There's been some cases where they've input the wrong mileage and then it has to be corrected. It doesn't mean that it was rolled back. And that was one of the points.
Just a mistake in entering.
It was just we'll call it clerical error.
Right.
But there are ones that the odometers are rolled back, and some of the examples are some of these cars that went through flood damage and didn't move for a long time, and things happened. Odometers were changed. They weren't noted as a flood cars, and it's just a bad situation. And let me just tell you, they are still out there being purchased. And that's where you need to get other people involved and other sets of eyes on the car, because sometimes you'll walk up and see what you think is a beautiful bucket of bolts, and boy, it's just lipstick on a pig, and they called it something else. And that is not the one that you want. that's always a bad situation. I run into it all the time. Hey, we paid $12,000. Now the car's not running. It needs $5,000-$6,000 worth of work. And when you start doing the math on these bad buckets bolts they bought, they could have bought a certified pre-owned or getting close to a brand new automobile. So yes, odometers still get rolled back. You don't see it near as much because of
A little more difficult to do,
Carfax
isn't it?
and auto check. And yeah. And see, how accurate are companies like Carfax? They're accurate with the information that's supplied. Remember, when you look at auto check, which I use, and then you have Carfax, it's as good as the information supplied. So when you think about all these cars that were flood damage cars, they didn't want to report it to their insurance, where their insurance went up. They took these cars, or people were buying them, drying them out, cleaning them up, and putting them back to market. So that Carfax was clean. So when these cars are going to the body shops, most report, some I guess don't, and that's why I always say get another set of eyes on the car. You wouldn't believe how many cars I look at that have a clean report on them, whether it's Carfax, Auto Check, whatever service you're using, and I walk up and go, "Whoa, time out! This car has been repainted here. Something's not right." I lifted one. I took the spare out. We took this car had all the way up to the top of the door on water. So it's a good starting point, but it's not the one-all end-all to get these vehicles checked out and looked at. For all your questions, if we didn't get to it, I promise I will get to them. I've been responding all week on my email. Go to theautomotiveedge.com, click on Contact Kurt, leave me your name and number, and we'll help you. Remember today, take time to pray and lift up those past and present in our military. And remember to turn off those electronics, get reconnected, tell that person you love them. Have a great and safe Memorial weekend. Let's keep the news positive. No drinking, no driving. Just have a great, good holiday weekend. Bo?
Yes. Same to everyone out there. Be sure and tell the ones you love them that they need to know that each and every day. Don't forget about that, because that's a real important thing, because we never know what tomorrow brings. Kurt, have a great weekend, and get that smoker rocking.
We will. Take care. Next Saturday, live, El Dorado Chevrolet. Come see us.
Take care.